Hey, this is Gamebound, a little series where we play one-shots of various sorts on the channel. And today we are going to be playing another episode of Cosmere RPG. We're going to be doing the same adventure that we did last time on this channel, except with three new people.
A rerun?
With three new people. Yeah.
I'm on a rerun?
This is the introductory adventure to the Cosmere RPG, and I was like, you know what? There's gonna be a lot of people who want to play this game. I know, and I'm the guy who runs games, so we're just gonna run this adventure a bunch of times. It'll be fun. It'll be great. We'll introduce characters. I think here. I'm trying to decide exact order I want to do this in. We're gonna be playing in the Stormlight Archive setting. If you're familiar with the Cosmere RPG, you are probably familiar with Stormlight and the hype that is built around this game and the setting. But Josh and Amber are certainly in tune with all of that hype. It's gonna be fun because Ben is not. He's decided to jump into the deep end, and I didn't realize this until like 5 seconds ago that that this is what was going to happen. So it's gonna be great. We're gonna jump into the world of Stormlight, into the world of Roshar, and it's a deep learning curve. It'll be fun though. Stormlight is
I'm excited,
pretty wild
to ruin the entire world that we're creating by my lack of knowledge.
No, it'll be great. I think you as a bridgeman will be probably the best decision we could have made there. You'll be towed along by everyone else's actions for a while here.
So you guys will carry me.
Yeah.
Carry me.
Well, you'll carry them in one sense because you're carrying the bridge. But
yes,
yeah. So cool. We're gonna do a little one shot here in Roshar. Roshar is a world of storms, of honor and passion. The world is constantly racked by what is known as high storms. So this guy, imagine like an alien landscape where there is no soil; it's all rock. And this is because a giant mega hurricane sweeps across the land every like 3 or 4, 5 days or so. And just wrecks everything that isn't nailed down or protected by an eastward-facing hill. So the world is, in a lot of ways, it kind of looks like what you would imagine like a tide ecosystem to look like, right? Lots of crustaceans, lots of plants that look more like coral or sea anemones or those sorts of things. And, plants that kind of fold into the ground to get away from the storms, giant crab beasts who pull into their shells to escape the high storms. And somehow we have humans who have managed to carve out an ecosystem for themselves amidst the alien landscape here. Fantasy setting. There's lots of crazy fighting and magic and magical artifacts known as shard blades and shard plate. There's a lot of fun things going on in the setting. Today we're going to ease into all of that a little slowly. None of you are going to be Radiants. We're not dealing with surge binding today. But there may be a chance or two to, interact with some Spren. We'll see. So you guys are an expedition sent by Bright Lord Sadius, High Prince Sadius, rather, who is the one of the kind of like main nobility of the Alethi nationality of Alethkar. The Alethi are warlike. They live in the eastern part of Roshar, which is the most battered by high storms. So they are a rough and warlike people, very acquainted with combat and violence and the thrill of battle. And you guys are currently locked in a war on what is known as the Shattered Plains. The Shattered Plains, a series of chasms and plateaus that is, kind of set out like a big, giant, broken pattern in the middle of this rock plain. And as such, bridges are used to span the chasms to do war on this on the Shattered Plains. You're fighting what is known as the Parshendi, crab men, basically, right? They look like they're humanoid, but they kind of like have strange carapace armor and strange marbled patterned skin. They are very alien. They speak their own strange language, and they are, the Alethi are currently at war with them on the Shattered Plains right now. And that's kind of like the situation we find ourselves in as we have the expedition you guys are all a part of, heading out into the Shattered Plains to explore the ruins that have been uncovered by a recent high storm. These ruins are said to date from the Silver Kingdoms, a time of high magic and artifacts of lore. So maybe Brightness Matal, the scholar who is kind of in charge of the expedition right now, who's the impetus for it happening, a scholar of sorts. She is determined to find artifacts, knowledge, whatever she can glean about the Silver Kingdoms and the past, maybe even the Knights Radiant, the magical Knights of lore in the past. From these ruins, you guys are all here in various capacities to help her accomplish that goal. So we have obviously a bridge crew. The expedition consists of a 20-person bridge crew and 6 soldiers to protect a handful of scholars and scouts. 2 chulls, slow ox-sized crustaceans with stone shells, act as beasts of burden, carrying wagons for the expedition scholars. The wagons contain enough food and water for a 4-day journey. And each of you have a specific role in the expedition. Obviously, there's like soldiers to protect people. There are the scholars who are going to be studying this thing. There's the bridges and the bridge crew that are carrying the bridges and getting everyone where they need to go. The bridgemen in Sadius's army are slaves. They are forced to run bridges against the Parshendi under a hail of arrows without any armor. Ben's character has lived a very harsh life in those conditions, running bridges all day and nearly dying probably several times at this point. And so that's your role today. Ved is carrying the bridge for everybody. We have Josh playing Palinor, who's going to be one of our soldiers, and then Ulana as a scout. And we'll get some more details about your characters here as we kind of zoom in and see the beginnings of our little adventure here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pop you guys over to a little picture here. So there'll be some art as we go along here on Roll20 that we'll be able to show off. So here is kind of like our kind of opening shot, right? We see you guys are going across one of these chasms. Let me find our details. Yeah, here we go. So it is midday when you reach the final plateau crossing. So after this point, you have reached what you think is going to be close to the ruins that you're coming out here to find. The expedition scholars ride in wagons pulled by chulls, their carapace-covered legs clicking with every slow but steady step. The expedition's bridge crew carries an even heavier burden. Every time you reach the edge of a plateau, the crew heaves the bridge forward and pushes it across the chasm. So we probably see this as our first opening shot, right? Is Ved and the other bridgemen heaving this bridge across the chasm, like sliding it across so it kind of locks into place and the rest of the expedition can cross. As the bridgemen struggle with the heavy wooden bridge, we hear a scout announce that we're nearly to the ruins. And it's time to cross one more chasm, one that plunges into the darkness far below you. So
take a break for just a second. This thing is heavy.
It is. Yeah. Very heavy.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, yeah, this would be awful.
Yep.
I think Ved. There are 20 of you. Tired of this already. Yeah,
of course. There's 20 of you, so the weight is shared evenly between those. But I'm sure, it's still very, very heavy.
Hey, union says I got to take a water break, guys. We gotta stop right here.
Yeah. So I think first thing we see is we actually do get a close up on Ved. As he kind of heaves the bridge across, and then you probably collapse in exhaustion, right? You've been doing this all day.
He gets like this dirt in his mouth. He's like got this like dirt caked like ring around his lips. He's just like so parched.
Yeah.
And he just like pulls out this flask, takes a drink, and offers it to the lobster thing next to him. And it just looks at him like, He's fine. Okay, you're good.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, just kind of gives you a cockeyed look and then chitters along. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what Ved looks like, at least for the token here. I don't, any other thing you want to describe about Ved?
He's he's really happier on the inside than he looks. I think it's the key thing to take away from Ved.
Sure. Nice. Cool. Yeah. And then we see as the expedition begins to cross, I think we get a shot of Palinor. You're one of those soldiers, correct? Who is kind of guarding the expedition?
Yes.
Yeah. What is so here's the token for Palinor, but anything else you want to say about what he looks like, what he's doing?
Well, he's just keeping a lookout because they're nearing the areas of conflict, and while there isn't a great shell to fight over, he's in charge. He was recommended for promotion by Bright Lady Natal, so he doesn't really want to disappoint her or, get fired.
Yeah. Yep. So Palinor's keeping an eye on things, making sure nothing's amiss.
All business. Yeah. All business as usual.
And then last but not least, we see Ulana. So you tell me, where is Ulana in the group here? Is she behind the bridge? Is she ahead of the bridge? Is she on the bridge? Where is she as the expedition is crossing?
I am going to say she's probably ahead of the bridge, like would almost be wanting to cross the bridge before Palinor. Just curious as to what's up ahead. Yeah. Should probably also be eyeing the chol because it looks tasty.
You'll lick your lips, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Ulana is at Unkalaki. You're probably quite tall, even for a woman that these people are familiar with, right? Horn-eater is the colloquial term for your ethnicity. Ved and Palinor, you would know legends about these folk. They live in high-end mountains and eat rocks and shells and horns. They eat like the actual like shells of crustaceans, and they think it's tasty or something. Like you don't understand what that's about, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably also just be like drumming my fingers together or like against my leg. Just like and almost in tune with the chol's like crossing, like the rhythm of the chol's crossing. Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah. And once the bridge is in place, the caravan starts making its way across. We see soldiers, bridge staff, a wagon. But then as the chol reaches the midpoint of the bridge, it starts to scuttle to the side and kind of snap its claws, like kind of away from one end of the bridge. The beast is clearly agitated and refuses to move, even as some soldiers like bring out ropes to haul it forward. What do you guys do? Like, does anyone like take particular interest in this? Some of you might not even pay attention to it. Palinor is probably the one nearest to it, and I'm curious if he's.
Lana's taking butter out and like getting ready to break the shell of this thing.
Yep.
I think Ved's just like he's like looking on, waiting to see what Palinor decides.
Yeah, like
maybe this animal's cautious on purpose. Like maybe it's not just
it's being going on.
Yeah. So he just looks at Palinor and goes, "What's she doing?"
Where's the Beastmaster? I don't usually handle Chol this far up the plains. Is something wrong?
Are you? Who are you talking to?
We're looking for who's in charge of the Chol.
Kind of no one and everyone. Like there are some soldiers kind of coming forward to like pull it by the ropes, but there's not like a Beastmaster or anything like that in charge. Like Chols are usually pretty docile. They kind of just do whatever anyone tells them, right? So yeah, there's like a couple of soldiers next to you, and maybe like one of them says like, I don't know, he's just not moving.
Ulana would go and try to see what is agitating the Chol, because being her brother raising Chol, she would kind of know, hey, this is not normal.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Real quick, does Palinor, as Ulana's coming over, what does Palinor do in response to the soldiers? claims of like, I don't know what's happening. Did you
he
stare incredulously?
Arm to Ulana and says, "What are you doing?"
Well, it's bothered. Why is it bothered?
Do you know anything about Joel?
A little bit. Well, maybe
Well,
more than a little bit.
I do.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do our first roll of the game, shall we? Let's, if Alana's coming over and checking out the Chol, and Palinor's kind of stepping aside to let her do so, I think we make, I think a survival roll is what we're making here, Ulana, to, check out what's going on with the Chol. So, let me double check something real quick. Okay, perfect. It's set to, the sheet should be set to ask to roll the plot die. In this game, when you're making a roll, you're rolling a d20, plus whatever your modifier is for like the skill or whatever you're rolling. And then in certain circumstances, if the stakes are raised, if it's kind of like a dangerous or particularly intense moment, we would also roll what's called the plot die, which is a d6, a special d6 that has like the possibility for like an opportunity or a complication, something that's going to kind of add to the narrative. This roll, I don't think has very much, a lot of stakes to it. So we'll just say no to the plot die, Amber. But go ahead and click on survival and roll that d20 for us and get our first roll in here.
As I'm looking around to Palinor, I suggest he maybe try to give it some sort of grass or something, some food. Give it some food. It might help.
Look around for some food.
Yeah.
All right, we got a 23. Yeah, you're certainly in tune with what's going on here, and with a kind of prickle on the back of your neck, you have a horrible sinking feeling in your gut. Ulana, there's not a whole lot of things that would like spook a Chol. Chols are pretty large beasts that aren't bothered by many things. But one thing in particular that lives out on these plains could very easily spook a Chol like this, and that is a chasm fiend. And you only have a moment in advance to warn everyone of this. What would you do if you just know that's what's going to happen next? Is a chasm fiend is going to like crawl out of that chasm? What do you do?
Exit the bridge. Just yell out to everybody, like, get off.
Perfect. Yeah. Palinor, you're kind of like a leader soldier type, right? Would you kind of go with that and then like start ushering people across like with your authority?
Yeah, he waves everyone aside, and he knows that Bride Lady Matal is on the wagon being pulled by the Chol, so he runs towards her.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Would you make a leadership roll for me to see how quickly people are responding to you and Alana kind of shouting?
I also want to do a perception if I can.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. We'll get this roll first, and then perfect. Yeah. So 16 is good enough. Palinor, you're going to be able to grant one other character an advantage on the next thing that's going to happen here. Probably either Matal or maybe just one of the characters. Probably actually just one of the player characters. Because I think most of the NPCs just kind of are.
Yeah.
What happens to them is going to be up to me basically. As this kind of weird introductory scene happens. So Ved, you were saying that you were gonna look around to see if you can notice this in time.
I rolled a natural 20 for a 23
on your.
No joke.
I'll give it to you this time, but I think in future let's roll on the on the stream.
You want me to roll on the stream? I'll roll on the stream.
Yeah.
I figure out how to do that.
Sounds good. Yeah, just so the whole stream can see it and stuff.
If I just click on perception, will it roll for me?
It will bring up a window to ask whether or not you use the plot die. Say no, and then we'll just
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll on the
perfect
stream, just so I know how to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
What did I get?
You got 15. Should show up in the chat there. On the far right. Yeah. Sweet.
Wait.
Yeah, so 15 is good enough. I think all three of you are very much like warned about this in time, right? You all notice that what's going to happen in advance, so you're not caught unawares of what happens next. So, there we go.
Oh my gosh. This thing looks dude, that looks like something out of what was it called? Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
It looks like a cross between Starship Troopers and some kind of I don't know. It's crazy looking.
Yeah, so these scraping sounds
oh my gosh.
that you I think Ulana and probably this is you Ved, you heard some scraping sounds starting to come from below the chasm. You're probably the one who hears this particularly. It grows louder, and then the Chol just completely retreats into its shell, and then with a shriek of claws on stone, a massive creature charges up the side of the chasm. It looks like a big kind of lobster-looking thing, right? Bridgeman and soldiers scream as the chasm fiend explodes into view. With one of its massive claws, it begins hauling itself up onto the bridge, scraping and splintering the wooden planks. Black
just fix that.
Yeah. Violet black carapace casts a shadow over the chaotic scene, and the chasm fiend's mandibles close around a fleeing scout. So yeah, like instant chaos begins here. And, all of you are doing the things that you've described, but you don't quite have enough time to do anything to actually get off the bridge or get Metal off the bridge or anything like that before, as the chasm fiend pulls its upper half onto the bridge, 4 smaller legs skittering onto the planks, like it's trying to pull its entire weight up onto the bridge. You hear a resounding crack, and the thing's weight is just too much. The bridge snaps in half and just starts falling. So for all of you, we're going to make an agility or athletics test to see how well you fare in the fall into the chasm. Again, this is like an introductory adventure. I'm kind of railroading you along a little bit here.
So let me get this straight. So the chasm fiend has in his hand, in his claw, a scout.
Some random scout, yeah. And
Reggie, our good friend. And he's now... it's collapsing too with the bridge, and we're all collapsing with
collapsing down. Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh. This is terrible.
So go ahead and choose athletics or agility, whatever you're better at to roll. And then Palinor, you got that leadership roll, so you can give advantage to one of your friends here. I'll
give it to Lana since she was closer.
Makes sense. Yeah, you're kind of working together.
Is this also plot die worthy?
Yes. Yeah, let's do plot die for all of you as well.
Okay. Oh boy.
So how do I roll the advantage?
Let's see. It might not ask you. Let's see. Roll. Here we go. I set your character sheet now. If you click on it, it should ask for advantage as well.
Okay.
I'll do that for all your sheets. We'll set it so it always asks you whether or not you're rolling with advantage or with the plot die. All right, cool, perfect. Go ahead and roll that, Alana, and then we'll kind of interpret all these results.
Oops, I rolled it twice. Sorry.
Perfect. Yeah, so we'll take that 16. As a note, one thing to keep in mind is with advantage, you can always choose to spend your advantage. So advantage is to re-roll the dice. You roll it twice and take the better of the options. You can do this with a D20, and you can do it with the plot die. So if you think like, oh, I got a great bonus to this, I don't need to get advantage on it. You can always do the plot die and then take better of the 2 results there as well. So as we're looking right here, let's see. So Josh, you got 11. And an opportunity. Perfect. So you're going to take 1d6 impact damage. So just one.
Whoa.
One. Again, all of you survive this fall. This isn't a roll to see if you die or not. It's just like how well you fare in the fall. So you take a minor scrape there, Palinor, as you tumble into the chasm. But you also get an opportunity. And I think for this opportunity, your kind of option is you can choose another character to take half damage or ignore an injury if someone happens to roll that. It doesn't look like I don't know if anyone else even did. Yeah, everyone else got higher that they don't take any damage. So we can choose something else to use that opportunity for. What do you think, Josh? Anything in particular you want? want to have said you did with that opportunity or something cool that happens. Typically with opportunities, it's basically like a narrative thing that kind of helps you in the moment.
I think
a list of options too.
Palinor would land upright and be quicker on his feet, so he can sort of get ahead of the bridgemen and usher them forward.
Perfect. Yeah. You have a good handle on yourself as soon as you'll be the first one up and about when you get down there. Perfect.
And it's like a cat.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Like, boom.
I'm just gonna pull up the rules here so I can find the spot where it gives us all the like complications and opportunities and stuff. Where is that? There you go. Sweet. And then, so you got a 21 there, Ved, with a complication. So the way complications work, though, too, is that you see that +4 that's on it as well. Whenever you roll a complication, it does actually make your actual roll higher. So you actually got a 25 altogether, like hands down, the best result out of anyone. But something kind of that complicates things happens as well. So let's see, you don't take any damage, right? You're perfectly fine for what somehow, like miraculously, it probably seems to you, right? Yeah. But then for the complication, I think the options here, a weapon or a piece of gear is broken. And I think typically, if I remember correctly, maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, Josh.
Any weapons? Yeah.
I know.
I don't have any weapons.
Doesn't it work where like an opportunity is always chosen by the one who got the opportunity, and a complication is always chosen by like the person opposing that person?
So opportunity always favors the players. Complications are decided by the GM.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought.
I had a suggestion for the complication if you need a complication.
Yeah,
well, yeah. Do you even have a piece of gear at all?
No, I was thinking I land on this thing. And that would be really bad.
Well, it would be, and you would just die. So we're going to not choose that option.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is dangerous enough that it would just like eat you pretty much instantly.
Maybe I land like kind of dangerously close to it, like where I'm just like I'm in a bad spot.
Could be.
You could land on Bright Lady Natal.
Yeah, sure. You could hurt someone else.
Or I could land and I get trapped. Like my leg is trapped in like a crevice of a rock.
That's true.
And I can't get it free. And I would like have to take like a full action or full round to.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Like technically you do have a bridge crew vest, a flask of alcohol, and a hand-drawn map that you could have like be lost in the fall. Either of those is fine with me.
I have so little items. I think I like the idea of me getting stuck. Like me, like
that's fine.
Like getting stuck.
Yeah, it is up to me, but I'm down with going.
If you're down.
Yeah. Yep. Sweet. Yeah. So you get trapped under the bridge there, and it's like under a piece. Yeah, it's under the piece of the bridge too. Ulana, you're perfectly fine. No complications or opportunities for you. But you managed to like it's a rough go, right? You still fell into a chasm, but you seem relatively fine. And then here I'll drag us all to a little map here. As you all have fallen into the chasm. So Ved,
I get caught in a piece of bridge that I just fixed like last
I know
week.
exactly. Yep. So Ved, you're over here kind of stuck under a piece of the bridge. Ulana, we can say Palinor I think is next to Alaya because he was like trying to protect her. And then Ulana's probably like over here by herself. Having kind of like done a good dive off of the bridge and a graceful roll or whatever, But yeah, so the bridge is broken in the center, and it's as this falls, its ends grind against the chasm's uneven walls, slowing its fall. So people on the edges of the bridge tumble over the side as it leans in the direction of the chasm fiend, but some people cling to the bridge. It's not as simple as just like you all immediately fall 40 feet down into the chasm. It's definitely like a scrape down the side of the walls and all that stuff. Somehow, miraculously, we get to the bottom and no one's dead of all of you guys. The bridge lands with a deafening crash on the chasm fiend itself, breaking a few of the beast's smaller legs. The chasm fiend roars in pain and recoils from the collapsed bridge and then pulls itself free, grabbing one of the chulls and retreating to the west, kind of like, oh, I got some dinner. I'm going to, climb back into one of the other chasms.
Ulana's dinner.
Can I go and grab one of the limbs that broke off?
Well, also, keep in mind, there is also another shoal right here that is also dead. So you don't even need to go after that one. You got another one right here.
I want the chasm fiends.
Oh, you want the chasm fiends leg?
Yes, I haven't tasted those before. They've got to be good.
Sure, yeah. Well, we can say Olana's like up here then. She's run over and grabbed one of the chasm fiend's legs as it like fell off. And are you just like chowing down on it, or you just like grab it for later?
No, I grab it because it has to be cooked first. I'm not uncivil.
Okay. Not a savage. Come on.
Not an Arctic lowlander.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, so down in the chasm, it almost feels like you've fallen into another world. The canyon walls are smooth, worn down by millennia of flash floods. Vines and frill blooms grow here, attended by the glowing green moats of life spren. So you, Ved, would know this, and telling you because you as Ben would know this. There are kind of strange little spirit things called spren that live in Roshar. They respond to the natural forces of the world, people's emotions, concepts like glory or awe, or like creation spren can sometimes pool around someone who's making a great work of art. They're little spirits that kind of appear sometimes when certain things happen. So we see some life spren around some of the plants, basically, little motes of light. So these are things that you'd see all around. The bridge itself is crushed beyond repair, and the bodies of your companions lie beside it. You hear faint groans from underneath the broken planks. So looking around, you see that obviously Ved is kind of like trapped under the bridge slightly. There are plenty of dead soldiers and bridgemen and stuff around. The people in as tokens here are the ones who've like visibly survived. So we have you three, obviously. Alaya Matal seems to have made it through relatively unscathed. We have Captain Selenar over here, who is the kind of like the leader of the soldiers. He's your immediate superior, Palinor. And then, you can, sorry. Maybe the dynamic lighting is weird. Let me turn that off. You see now?
Yay!
Perfect.
Hey, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so there's the situation you find yourselves in. So we got Alaya Matal over here, who seems relatively okay. Captain Selenar, right here. He's the leader of the soldiers. Palinor, he's your immediate supervisor, immediate superior. We have Doral, who is another member of Bridge 4 that runs alongside you, Ved. Alana's obviously up here, and then we got another one of the soldiers who survived as well. So yeah, let's take a moment, and the Chasm Fiend is kind of retreated for now. So what would you guys do in the immediate? Obviously, Ved probably needs to be pried from underneath the bars here, underneath the bridge. But each of you kind of have a moment to do a couple of things here. What do you guys do? In any order is fine. Whoever would like to just describe what they do.
I think Palinor would like to size up the situation, so he wants to see who's split up, who's well, firstly, and who needs the most help, and how many people they've lost.
Sure, yeah. It seems like the two soldiers there, at least one bridgeman. It's possible you hear some groans, so that it's possible that like even besides Ved, there might be other people under the bridge still. So if you wanted to go like check that out, that might be something you could do. Or you could just go help Ved particularly.
It's like, no, I'm just going to abandon those people.
Yeah, he'll rally to get people to lift the bridge because they're going to need as much help as they can get to survive these chasms.
Sure. Let's have you go ahead and make a perception test because you're trying to like just see like where you even need to start like digging through the wreckage here to find people. So go ahead and make a perception test for me there, Josh.
Come on, Palinor. Perceive. Oh no!
Oh, that's a critical failure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no!
There are no injured people.
Yeah. I think what it is, Palinor, is like it really seems like the bridge is really stuck. And like you maybe think that there might be someone under here, but you cannot for the life of you see a way to get to them without like either crushing the bridge further on top of them and like breaking all their bones. Like it seems kind of hopeless to you, right? Like you're just like, oh no, they're dead. Like there's nothing I can do. Yeah. Let me double check real quick. See if it has any directions for, because you did generate a complication too.
Yes.
Oh no!
If there's any
Palador, come and help me.
guidelines
Trapped.
for that. Yeah.
We'll just stand there.
Yeah.
Lana, stop making a fire. Stop trying to eat those monster legs for a second.
Yeah. I'm just trying to decide what. I think let's say this. I think the captain over here. He comes over to you, and he just says like, "No use. They're dead," and just like waves you off like, don't even bother. And technically he's in charge of you. Brightness Metal could like belay that order, but technically, you should listen to this guy. So he passes by you, and you can choose to disobey him, but that's technically, I think that'll be the complication is he basically just gives you an order like, don't bother, and kind of moves past and like seems angry. We also get a shot of Doral real quick here, the one bridgeman. He looks like he's broken his leg, and I think we hear him. He's pulled himself to a sitting position. He's wincing in pain. He lays a hand over his broken left leg. But then he like forces a smile, and he speaks in a quiet voice. He says, "Bridge 9, we've always been survivors. By the Almighty, we'll survive this." And you know this guy, Ved, right? Like he's always been like this. He's like the person who survived the longest on your bridge crew. Like every time you go on a bridge run, he still somehow survives. And yeah, he's like, no, it's fine. I'll survive. But you can tell he's like has a broken leg. So yeah, Ved or Ulana, what do you guys do? Ved, you could try to like push the bridge off of yourself, or Ulana could come and help you.
Let me see what Ulana wants to do first.
Yeah.
So is Doral on top of the bridge?
No, he's managed to survive, not being pinned in or anything. He just broke his leg in the fall. It looks like he's just kind of sitting right now.
Okay. So he's not on top of the bridge, so I can move the bridge without... Okay. So I use part of the broken bridge as a lever to help Ved get unstuck.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, let's have you make probably an athletics test, I think. Try to lift that off of him. Yeah, there you go. I think it's perfectly fine. So it just takes you some precious time, right? But you managed to get the lever under there and lift the part of the bridge that's on Ved off. And Ved, once the pressure is relieved off of your leg, you're like, oh goodness gracious, okay, I'm okay. Like I didn't actually, my leg isn't broken. Like you're fine. So you can.
And he kind of looks himself over, makes sure he's intact. But then he looks at his leg, but then he looks at Doral's leg, and he's like, he starts looking around to see what he can do to help.
Yeah. Do you want to try to treat
yeah,
Doral?
I want to grab a piece of
Here,
one of these
stick
rods. Yeah, like what you just took. I'll take it, and if I can rip some cloth off, and create a tourniquet, some kind of brace for his leg.
Yeah, splint.
Like a nice splint.
Sure.
So
let's have you roll a medicine check then.
It's medicine. It's one of my best skills.
Shakes his head.
It's so good. Just rolling normally here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Not with advantage.
Nope.
Not with the plot die.
Nope.
The old 3. The old gentleman's 3.
Yeah, so you do it, give it the old college try, Ved, but the old Bridgeman try, but it does not work. You're terrible at this.
he's looking around. He's looking for whoever has who's our medic or our healer or somebody who can come over and help this guy out. But
I'm not sure there is someone like that. If you guys don't have, if any of you guys don't have medicine, I don't think there's an NPC who does. So
I think it was Reggie, and he got chomped in half.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, probably.
Reggie, we hardly knew you.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I think we can have each of you also do another thing as you guys are trying to sift through the wreckage. You could look for supplies. You could, because at this point you're gonna have to figure out what to do from here, right? So we're still taking a moment to look over everything. You might try to salvage for stuff. What would you guys do? You each get another turnaround of doing something before something else is going to happen. So. Brightness Matal seems very like flabbergasted and just like lost. Like, I don't know what to do. The captain and the spearman are they kind of go over here and they seem like agitated and like waiting for you guys to like finish what you're doing, but they don't seem to be helping with anything. They just kind of look nervously over their shoulder at where the chasm fiend came.
So I want to see if there's any weapons that one of these soldiers here might have dropped that I could just snag.
Certainly.
I'm looking for either like a short sword or a spear, or a short spear or a long spear, actually. So if there's one of those, I'll take it. You tell
perfect.
me.
Yeah.
You tell me what there is.
Yeah. Let's have you make let's see.
Like a survival, maybe.
Yeah, let's have you make a crafting test. Because like I think part of this is like you might find a broken spear.
Okay.
But you'd have to like, put it together. I think that's the immediate thing you look as like you don't see like an intact spear immediately, but if you want to try to like makeshift something together, you can try that. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Sorry. Also roll the plot die. Just go and roll a d6 for me, real quick. Here,
go ahead and roll it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got a complication.
Okay. I get a splinter in my hand.
Perfect. No, yeah. Well, I mean, you got a 17, and I think it probably increases from there because the complication.
It would be 19, I think.
It would be 19. Okay, yeah. So you're good there. Mainly the game is telling me, the adventure is telling me like if they got an opportunity, you would have found an like an unbroken spear, just as you're sifting through stuff. Well, then you got a complication. I think. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe it's just broken. It's just like a short broken.
Yeah.
Like not as effective. Like maybe it's not as the damage dice on it is. Like
I think what we'll say on this is you're gonna be able to find a makeshift weapon, certainly, but I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be fragile. So like the first time it takes any like real stress in combat, it's probably gonna break, and then you'll have to find something else. But for now, you found like a broken spearhead, and you managed to kind of make a little makeshift weapon for yourself.
Okay.
Cool. Palador, Ulana, what do you guys do? Palador, you still know that there are dudes under the bridge, but you have no idea how to get to them.
He looks to Lana. You rescued one. How'd you do it?
You make a lever like this. You take a stick, and then you have fulcrum, and you weight times distance equals force.
Yeah, if you guys want to work together, you could probably try to get them out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have you roll. Probably you're working together. Let's have who has a better athletics between the two of you?
I have a. Yeah.
What do you got, Palador?
4, I believe.
4. Okay. Let's have you roll with advantage and with the plot die. Athletics.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey.
Still a 22. Yeah. Oh yeah, your other roll is an 11, so that's a good job. Sweet. Yeah. So I think to working together, the Captain Salinar, kind of frowns at you as you disobey his orders, but you do manage to make to lift the bridge enough that you can find a couple of bridgemen underneath the bridge material. You saw Aaron and Kesh. Aaron is an earnest-looking young bridgeman, about maybe 17. The brands that he has that made him a bridgeman mark him as a thief. And then Kesh is a physically imposing, but Ved would know, a slow-witted bridgeman, age 24, with no brands. So yeah, Ved knows all these people. Well, to be fair, Ved probably doesn't know them very well because the bridgemen don't really talk to each other that much. You know about Doral probably, but you probably have never... I guess it's up to you, Ved. Normally, bridgemen don't really talk to each other, but you could have known either of these if you would have liked to. If you would have,
I think he knows Doral. Like I think Doral was like maybe the one guy that was.
Everyone knows Doral.
Yeah, like and maybe even like looks up to him a little bit. Like he's been kind of like a mentor to him. Yeah, like looks up to him. So yeah, he's really bummed that he couldn't help him. So
cool. Yeah, but you managed to get those other bridgemen out, but it's around that time that the captain seems pretty ticked at like all this time that's been wasted like helping people. So he likes let me find this here. We see him. Yeah, they maybe spent a moment. The two soldiers here spent a moment looking for supplies, but they give up pretty quickly and then go stand over there, like I described. But then eventually, as you guys kind of finish getting the bridgemen out, we hear the captain mutter, "We need to get moving before that chasm fiend returns." And then the spearman beside him nods and then like shouts up to the chasm, "Help! Help us!" And Selenar just like slaps him across the face. He like turns to him and slaps him. And he says, "Varda, you creme-sucking idiot. You'll bring the beast down on us." But yeah, then both men kind of still like turn up to the top of the chasm. But there's no response. So they're like, "Oh, darn it." All right. And I think Alaya steps forward at that point, realize you guys are finishing with the bridge. And she starts to speak. She starts to say, "Perhaps we should..." And then Selenar interrupts her. He says, "Brightness, this entire storming suicide mission is your fault. Just do what I say." Anger spren start to pool like blood at the captain's feet. He shouts at Varda, the spearman here, to get moving. And then he stalks over to the old bridgeman, Doral. And he says, "We'll leave this one as bait for the chasm fiend." And then he unsheathes his sword and holds it above the older man. For a moment, the captain's green eyes flash red, it seems. What do you guys do? Do you stop him? Do you just let him kill the guy?
I attempt to shoot him in the arm with my short bow.
Perfect. All right, let's go. Let's go into combat, shall we?
Whoa, Ulana.
Okay, so the way that combat works in the Cosmere RPG is you don't roll for initiative. Instead, we have 4 different kind of slots where initiative happens. We have fast PCs, fast NPCs, slow PCs, and slow NPCs in that order. So basically, we just go through each slot, and I just ask, okay, so anyone who wants to go fast is going to go first. Who wants to go fast? The difference between going fast and slow in initiative is you get 1 more action for going slow. So fast means you get to go before everyone else, but you don't get as many things you can do. Slow means you have to wait for fast NPCs to go first. So someone might beat you to the punch. For example, like Selenar, it's very likely Selenar is going to try to go fast here, right? To get the thing done that he wants to do. But if you do decide to go slow, you'll get an extra action in which to do something in combat. So I'll go and ask first, who would like to go fast? Who's trying to act really, really quickly here? I assume Ulana is going fast because she wants to like crack off this shot. Anyone else?
Palinor. I think he's just a leader. He's going to step up.
Sure. Vad, you going to go fast or maybe wait?
I'm going to go slow.
Sound good?
I'm going to go slow. I think he's like surprised this is happening. Honestly.
Yeah. Technically, you don't have to decide for sure until we are about to pass the fast PC slot. So Palinor and Ulana could both do their turns. And if you're at that point, if you want to be like, no, I actually do step in and do something, then you can still choose to do so. So up to you guys, Ulana or Palinor, whoever would like to go first. But it seems likely that Ulana is the first one to go since she just described herself like cracking off a shot. Does that make sense to you, Josh?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and do that first. So you have 2 actions to choose here, Ulana. Selenar has stepped up basically here, right? In front of Doral, kind of in between, and Ved is kind of on the other side of him. So you could, if you're just going to crack off a shot, you can just do it from there, right? You don't have to move any.
So I think quick draw is an action, right? And then shooting is an action?
Good question. That is a fair question. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what drawing a weapon.
Because in the character sheet it says quick draw. You can draw this weapon as 1 triangle.
I feel like you would have had it out. Like because of the
there's an
situation
action
we were
sheet
just
as
in.
well that is mostly correct. I can share it with the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'll send it in Discord. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
that'd be great.
Send it over Zoom.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that for reference here. Because there's several different
I think a
actions
few things are named incorrectly, but the functions are all right.
Perfect. Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, I think like when you just like attack, you ready, shove, grapple, disengage, interact with an object. So do you have to interact with an object to like draw your? Yeah, I think that's what it is, because you can drop something for free. That's what it is. So yeah, Ulana, do you have a quick draw thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I think quick draw might be a free action because it looks like all of the clear triangles are like, because barter talk is a free action and drop is free. So I think quick draw is also free then.
Where are you seeing this on your character sheet?
Well, I'm looking at Abena's because it's a little bit bigger. And so under her weapons, it says short bow, +5 physical, and then two-handed, ranged, quick draw. You can draw this weapon as a free action.
Oh, yeah. I think that is an expert thing. Is that what it said? Oh, you might have access to it. It depends on if you have the... looks like you were given the character sheet originally has short spear as an expertise. If you would like to switch that to short bow, because it sounded like you were going to be an archer more than a spearman, we can switch that. That's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah, expertise also says short bow for. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. Then that makes sense. Then so that means you can just do it for free, basically, right? Because you quick draw. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I just want to make sure we got that straight.
And then I just shoot.
Yeah, you can go ahead and click on your character sheet. You should shoot a short bow there. That'll allow you to roll there.
No plot die.
Let's do plot die. This is a pretty high stakes situation. You're trying to shoot the captain in charge of the mission, right? Okay, so nothing on the plot die, but that's a 20. Nice. Didn't roll super great on the damage, but you certainly hit the guy. If I remember correctly here, I'll double check what his info says, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have more defense than that. Yeah, physical defense is 14. So yeah, you certainly hit. His breastplate that he's wearing will mean that 2 of that damage gets deflected. But you do 4 damage to Captain Selenar. And the way this works is it's not so much that unless you actually like cause an injury to someone, typically you're not actually damaging them. This is more like you shot past his ear and he's like stressed and like, well, like barely, you've almost hit him a bunch of times. This is like maneuvering around in the combat, and eventually you will like actually get a hit on him and maybe you get an injury. But for right now, you've taken a shot and you've definitely done damage to his health, to his points here in the combat. Sweet. What would you like to do with your second action?
We get 2.
Yeah, because quick draw is is free. So.
Yeah.
You can attack again. I believe typically.
Yeah, I think that's probably my best option right now.
Well, I said you can't attack again. Typically,
I can't. Okay.
You have to have a special thing to be able to do that. But any other action, typically, so you could do you could brace. You could like take cover. You could try to gain advantage on the next thing you do. You could use a skill to do something. You can move.
I think I will gain advantage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so test a skill against your target's corresponding defense. What do you want to do? That can be any number of things. What skill would you be using to try to gain an advantage in this situation? Right, like what do you describe Alana as doing here, you think?
I would probably like ready my weapon and aim specifically to make him drop his weapon next time. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah. You could roll perception probably, right? You're trying to get a good shot in. Yeah, that makes sense. And then for next time, you could like spend that advantage to try to do something.
Okay. So right now,
go ahead and roll perception. Yeah.
Oh, and then I go boop and maybe. Oh, there's 2 buttons. Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's a failure there, because it'd be against one of his defenses. the lowest of his is 13. So I think you're not able to get like he once he knows that you're trying to shoot him, he's trying to get around and onto the other side and like stab Doral without you being able to get a clear shot on him. He's keeping the bridgeman in between him and you, right? Or you and him. Cool. Yeah. So that's your turn there. Palinar, you'd just like to go fast.
Yes. I think first he'd like to move to interpose between Doral and Selenar. He's not going to immediately attack his superior, but he's also not going to let him kill.
Okay, yes. You're trying to shove your way in there?
Because
I think as it stands right now, you'd have to like either shove him because he is like... Yeah.
Okay.
And technically you do need to spend an action to move.
True.
So I think if that's the sort of thing you want to do, it maybe like you could do move to get up to him and then maybe gate advantage. Like you're starting to try to shove in between him, and then the next time you have an action, you'll be able to actually do that, like shove action or something. But you get advantage on it. Because as it stands right now, shove is like a 2-action thing you can do, right? To actually get in between them, you'll have to do something like that. So up to you though.
Could you also just grapple, or is that not enough?
Grapple's also 2 actions.
Yeah, so if he was going slow, he could... The problem is he has to spend an action to move the 5 feet to get closer to him. Yeah.
Yeah, could I just switch to slow turn then?
That's true. Yeah, you don't have to go right now. You can just you can just do that next time. Yeah, for slow. Perfect. Ved, would you like to go fast, or are we moving on to the fast NPCs?
Going slow.
Sounds good. All right. So Selenar is going to go next here. He will go ahead and try to stab Doral. See how this goes. Let's see here. Where is his character sheet? There it is. What does he got going on here?
What's he stabbing out with?
He has a longsword.
Okay.
Yep. Typically the sword is the light eyes weapon. One of the things that we haven't touched on a whole lot in this session so far is the fact that Alethi society is split between all the nobility have light eyes, and the common people have dark eyes. That's one of the ways they tell apart who is noble and not. So you would have dark eyes, Ved. But I know I don't know about Ulana. The Unkalaki have their own system of rule.
Ved has the darkest of eyes.
Yeah. What does it say on the character sheet, Josh? What are the Palinor's dark eyes or not?
Palinor's dark, I believe, looking by the artwork.
Okay.
And his rank under Solomon.
Sure. All right, sounds good. Yeah, let's see. I think he's just gonna stab. We'll go ahead and roll against Doral here. All right, you got a 10. That might not be enough.
But he is prone.
Double check. I think
this fits.
Doral is a commoner. Yeah, it might. I'm just double checking what character sheet Doral is supposed to be. I think he's like a commoner. Yeah, there it is. So he has a physical defense of 11. So the guy missed. I guess Doral is like squirming right at that point. He's just like, no, right. He's like, no, Bridge9 survives, right? And he like tries to scamper out of the way, and just barely does so, right? As he like brings the sword down. And then for his second action, because he hasn't like moved at all, I think he's gonna turn and slam you with his shield, Ved, with his special action he has called Shield Bash. Because you're like right next, you're like behind him, so he just wants to make sure you don't try. That's fair. That's fair.
I haven't made a move against him. I haven't made a move at all.
I suppose so.
I might be okay with this.
You know what? He has a shield. He'll brace. That makes sense because he knows that like Ulana's trying to kill him and Palinar's probably going to attack him. He'll brace with his shield and like try to put his shield in between you and him. Let's go ahead and do that. Brace. Yeah, he just does it. He doesn't have to roll anything. So all attacks targeting him now have disadvantage because he's raising his shield. All right, cool. Let's see. I know that Captain Selenar takes fast turns. Let me double check. Who else maybe takes? Okay, the spearman is gonna take a slow turn. Okay, so the other NPCs are just like Doral is gonna defend himself. Or try to run away or whatever it is. Though he does have a broken leg. Yeah, you know what? I think especially because you failed on the splint, he's gonna basically just stay there, and I'll just have him brace him as well, right? He's trying to avoid these attacks. He'll take a fast turn and do that. But I'm not sure he'd really try anything else. Maybe he just moves over here and goes against the chasm wall, moving as fast as he can, but on his broken leg. Elia is just shocked and is just like, ha, right? And she kind of just does nothing. The same with the bridgeman. They're just like, oh, what is going on? But then we can have slow PCs can go now. So Ved and Palinor in whichever order. Sounded like Palinor had a thing that he specifically had in mind. So if Ved is still
Palinor, why don't you go first, Palinor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll move up. There, so let's move him in between, and he'll grapple
him. Perfect.
So he drops his spear. And reaches and just tries to bear hug him.
Yeah. Go ahead and make athletics
In
test.
The sword arm. Yeah.
Yep. Athletics test against his physical defense, and let's go do the plot die for this.
Yeah.
So you need to get a 14.
In that plot die.
Oof.
Oh no.
Yeah, and no help from the plot die either. So you're trying, right? You're tussling with him, but he manages to keep his shield up and pushing you back. It's not working. Ved, now's the time to be a hero. What do you want to do? You got your makeshift spear.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's what's this guy's name that's attacking us again?
Selenar. Yeah.
It's we need each other out here. We can't be what's the point in killing this guy when if he's gonna die anyway, let's just leave. You know what I mean? Why does this guy all of a sudden want to kill him? So
you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So Ved's gonna. Can I do some kind of intimidation on this guy?
Yeah, you could try. How would you describe your what are you actually doing, description wise?
I'm gonna put my spear on the back of his neck, right to the bridge of his skull, and I'm gonna whisper quietly, make one more move, and it's the last thing you'll ever do. And I'm gonna roll intimidate.
Would that count as banter? I mean, the free action for bent. I mean, it's not really better, but
no, that sounds like he's making a skill roll, right? Yeah.
It's a little flavor.
Yeah. So you're trying to use a skill. Yeah.
I want to intimidate him.
Yeah,
because I want this to be done. Because I actually don't necessarily want to kill this guy, but I will if I have to.
Sounds good. Go for it. Roll that intimidation. We'll do it with the plot die.
With advantage, right? Because he's flanked.
Well, flanking isn't going to help. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's a thing in the same way as 5e, and it's certainly not going to help you intimidate the guy. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, with the plot die. Oh, nice. Okay, so that +2 gives you exactly the number you needed to actually succeed on intimidating the guy. So we'll say that you managed to stop him, right? He definitely is intimidated, probably less because of Ved by himself, but the fact that he is now surrounded on three sides by people who want to stop him, right?
Yeah,
and he realizes
situation.
Yeah, exactly. He realizes oh, I'm not gonna be able to stop this. But with that complication, I'm curious.
I love complications.
What if the spear broke so that Selenar knows he's no longer actually being threatened?
Well, I mean, he's being...
He did succeed on the intimidation, so I don't want to like take it away from him.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that like Ved like brandishes the spear to do the intimidation and it just breaks immediately, just falls apart. I kind of like that. Let's do that. I can't think of anything else better.
It just, he like puts it up to his head and it literally just half of it comes off.
Exactly.
And it just makes it seem like he's still got something up to his head.
You still managed to like intimidate him, but like it's going to be useless to you after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And since you got Captain Selenar to like be intimidated, Spearman Varda, who was going to jump in here if you guys were still fighting to like help his captain, also is not going to do anything. So I think the craziness of the combat kind of like stops. We can see that Selenar is still kind of like there's a vein popping in his neck. He's definitely like riled up still, and he says, well, fine. Someone else is going to have to be the meal of the chasm fiend. We're not all going to make it out of this chasm alive if someone doesn't act as bait.
Ved says to Selenar, look at those bodies. And he like points to like the bodies that are still trapped and like groaning underneath the bridge. He's like, there's your food. Let's go. We got to move.
How are we going to move with him? He has a broken leg.
Well, then we leave him. He's been a survivor. He knows how to survive. Let's go.
He looks at you like, oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, that actually worked out for me.
Yeah, and he goes to the old man, and if we're out of combat,
you are.
Okay. He goes up to the old man. He pulls out his flask, gives it to him. He pulls out his map, he gives it to him, and he says,
"This is terrible.
It's the best I can do."
Yeah,
and
honestly,
he bows to him like out of respect, like, and he gives him the bit of spear that he has left.
I don't know if Paladin or Lana have any thoughts about this. It does seem like the other bridgemen are like looking on in like kind of like sadness and horror, and the brightness over here has like walked up at this point and maybe just like puts a hand to her mouth, and Selenar like shrugs. He's like, "That works for me." And he like puts his sword back.
Palinor, do you have a sword or a spear?
Spear.
And if Ved can, he'll try to break another piece of like large wood off of the bridge and just get a club.
Yeah. That's about as good as you can do. Yeah, you just have like a cudgel basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he'll take that with him. And he'll look to Selenar and Palinor and be like, "Let's go." And he'll look to Alana too and be like, "Did you get enough food for all of us? It might be quite a walk."
She's still holding the leg.
For sure I am. Actually, can Ulana try to really quick take one of the broken wagon wheels and try to make like almost like a unicycle, so that it's like a crutch on a wheel to help Doral walk?
You want to make a wheelchair?
No, it's like a wheeled crutch.
A unicycle leg, I think, is what she's trying to make. I feel like there are way lower rolls you could do to make a normal splint. Like the craft roll on that is going to be a little higher than probably you could make.
It's going to be like one of those boot scooters. Like when someone like breaks just like 1 foot and they have to like have it up.
Yeah, like to be fair, Ved got a terrible roll on his medicine check. If you like, you don't have to leave this guy here. You can try something else.
It's all done. He's done. Well, you'll see. Go ahead.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious if Ilana or Palinor have anything else to say about that situation, or if they're just accepting that this is happening.
Well, I'm trying to help the dude.
Yeah, Palinor's a little on the fence just because he knows not to interfere too much with bridge customs, but he also knows that Doral is kind of the mascot of the bridge. men. And so he looks to Alana and says, help him if you can. I think we'll really need him to keep the bridge crew in check.
Okay. So I do go over and attempt, I'll just do a medicine check to start because there's a chasm fiend coming after us soon.
Yep.
So
that makes sense to me. Go for it. Hey!
Whoa!
Critical success. Yeah, and honestly, I should have had you roll the plot die too, but it's fine.
Oh.
You got an opportunity anyway, right, with that critical success there. So, I think so. What this typically means with what the adventurer is telling me to do here is that he regains the rest of his health. He gets to roll a recovery die here as you help him and splint the wound and stuff. He's still going to be slow. He has an injury that's making him slow, but at this point he can come with you. He's just going to be slowing you down a little bit. If you would like now to, with the opportunity, you could spend that opportunity to find something that you could make a better splint with, or something that could help him not be as slow. Up to you if you have an idea there.
Yeah, unicycle crutch, or just a crutch.
Crutch. Probably just a regular crutch is probably an easier idea.
Okay.
Unicycle crutch, though. I'm starting to Kickstarter.
Yeah, honestly, I think with the opportunity, we just
take the club that he's been given and turn it into a crutch.
Well, I was gonna say,
that. You just need to think outside of the box here.
Yeah. Ved goes back up to him and takes the map back, takes the flask back, lets him have a sip of it first, and it's like, I did the best.
Actually, what's in that flask?
It's a secret. Why are you thirsty?
I think Doral, when he took a sip of the flask, he was coughing and sputtering. He said, "I think it's some horn eater drink."
Doesn't sound too bad.
If you really want to know, I think it's I'm trying to find what it is. It's some kind of
Is it a horn eater white?
Oh, not a horn eater white.
Yeah, it is. Is that good?
It's really strong.
It depends on what you define as good.
Yeah, it's like vodka or whiskey or even stronger.
Yeah.
It's moonshine.
Yeah, so I would actually take some of that flask and use it to clean the wound too.
Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
So he has a crutch, or do I need to roll?
No, I think the opportunity can just give us a crutch, right? You find a suitable crutch-looking piece of wood that you can use, from the wreckage. Sweet. Yeah, so I think Selenar is grumbling to himself, but I think he's just well, we better get going. And then this way, and at that point, Brightness Matal speaks up. She's a violet-eyed noblewoman. She says, "I'm sorry for all of this," kind of apologizing for the captain and the situation. She says, "If you can see me safely home, I'll see that you're rewarded by the High Prince. But first, we need to get away from that great shell." And you guys can hear still the echoes of him, of the chasm fiend, eating the chull somewhere in the distant chasms.
Oh.
The echoes are making it hard to pinpoint exactly how far away it is, but it's certainly not a thing you want to stick around and find out.
Yep.
And Ved puts his arm around Selenar and kind of whispers to him. He says, "You see now, you don't have to run faster than the chasm fiend. You just have to run faster than him." And he points to the guy with the crutch. And
Doral just shrugs, I guess it's true. Yeah.
he overhears it, hey.
Yeah.
So she says that she's gonna give us some kind of reward.
Yeah. So she basically says help me get out of the chasms, and I'll make sure you're rewarded. We need to get back to hyper. And I think she starts to unroll a map briefly, and she's like, I even think that we might be able to get back up to the plateau through the ruins anyway. And she starts to go into some explanation of what that would look like, and that's when you hear
oh no.
And at this point, you just need to start going, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
So you guys start booking it across the chasm.
In the direction of the sound. We run straight towards
in the direction of the sound. Well, Ved does this. Everyone else doesn't.
We charge it, right, guys? Who's with me? Yeah, we run away.
Yeah. So you guys run. And we'll go ahead and do a little bit of a skill test. Chasm Fiend pursuit thing.
Oh, no.
So here's the Chasm Fiend as it breaks out of a chasm nearby and starts chasing you. Yeah, you guys are you move away from the crash site and you round a bend. The chasm turns northeast. The canyon floor here is strewn with rocks and boulders. About 90 feet ahead, the chasm narrows. At its base, it forms a crack just wide enough for a person to pass through. So you need to run across that span and get to that crevice, and you can get away from the Chasm Fiend. So the way we'll do this is we will go ahead and make some rolls here. You'll go ahead and tell me what you guys want to do. It can just be as simple as run. It can be help another person. It can be try to hide, find a shortcut, distract the Chasm Fiend, whatever you want to do, right? And then you'll have to get a certain amount of successes before you get a certain amount of failures, and then you've been successful. You've gotten to the crevice. So in general, what's happening is everyone is booking it across the chasm here to this crevice. But what do we get from you guys? Whoever would like to describe like how they're helping people get across this span, or just getting across yourself, whatever you'd be doing. We can make some rolls. So it's like, is anyone helping Doral, or is anyone just booking it for themselves?
I think Ved, since he's like he carries the bridge, he literally like moves this thing as his occupation, right? Mm-hmm. He's got to be like phenomenally strong.
Oh yeah.
And so he just takes Doral's arm, throws him over his shoulder.
Yeah, there you go.
And just like on his shoulders, and he just starts sprinting with this guy on his back. And I mean, he's carrying him and making it look like almost effortless.
Well, your roll will decide that, but in theory, yes.
You'll see. You'll see.
Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check
athletics.
with the plot die.
The plot die. I'm due for a not complication, right? Like I've had 3 complications.
In theory, probability wise, yeah.
I'm due. I'm calling it right now. This is gonna be natural 20 with the plot die in favor. Let's see it. And another complication.
You did get a really good roll though, so
I got a good roll, but
like you have gotten 1 success for the group's efforts, right? You need to get a certain amount of successes before you get a certain amount of failures. But you do get a complication, and in this case, one of the other bridgemen, let's say Aaron, the younger one, just freezes, right? Like you start going ahead, but that guy just like stops and stares at the Chasm Fiend. So if someone's gonna have to help him at this point, right? Like that's a complication that's gonna have to be dealt with. But he just like freezes and stops in the middle of Chasm Fiend, like I'm gonna die. So who Palinor, Ulana, what are you guys doing? As Ved is charging across the open field with Doral on his back. Yeah. We see Selenar and Varda just like booking it across the open field. What about you guys? Palinor.
I think Palinor, seeing Aaron freeze up, he realizes that Brightness Metal is really not prepared for this, so he grabs her by the non-safe hand and just make sure that she follows along. Follow me.
Sure. Yeah. Let's have you make a leadership test, right? She's not injured or anything. You're not having to like help her in that sense, but yeah, you're out trying to like get her to come along with you and not be afraid. And yeah, let's do it. Go ahead and make a leadership. And these will all be with plot die. The stakes are high. You're being chased by a Chasm Fiend.
Yep.
Ooh. All right. So 18. So you got to get a 22 altogether. So you certainly are inspiring Matal. She's running across the field with you. And it's the start of a, possibly a romantic interest here,
What?
No. As soon as you described grabbing her not safe hand, I thought about the fact of you grabbing her safe hand instead.
You do not do that if you want a promotion.
Another cultural thing that you wouldn't understand, Ben. Alethi women usually keep their left hand covered with a sleeve or a glove. It's considered very scandalous to have your left hand be exposed to the world, right?
So Palinor, the relationship is the complication.
Right. Yeah. You have to grab her by the safe hand.
No.
I think what happens is we have Varda, the spearman. He trips and falls. And hits the ground, and Selenar just keeps running. Right, he doesn't even care about the guy. But the guy gets he like bonks his head, like his helmet falls off, and the spearman is just like dazed and like not moving as well. So Ulana, what are you doing? There are two NPCs in particular who are like going to be eaten by this Khazad if they aren't helped.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the bridgeman because he was the first one, and I have an idea for him. So I'm going to go up to him and try to encourage him. You just have to listen to the rhythm. Listen to the rhythm of his feet and find your own. Outpace him.
Nice.
So
sounds like a leadership test to me.
Okay.
Go ahead and make that with the plot die. See how it goes.
It sounded like the theme song to Arthur.
The rhythm of the streets.
Listen to the rhythm.
Oops, sorry. I forgot to roll plot die.
Oh, that's all right. You can go ahead and roll it again then. Just going to roll it again with the plot die.
The whole
The
roll? Okay.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Roll normally. Plot
We'll
die.
just hide that and
Yes.
pretend it never existed.
No.
Basically the same roll. Hey, but that +2 actually means you succeed. That just barely you succeed. So it was only a DC 10. You managed to get this guy up, right? And he like nods like, all right. And then just like starts booking it along. We'll say complication though. So the suggestion it gives for complications is an NPC stops fleeing, too terrified to move, but this can only happen so many times before it's unrealistic. Do we have any other ideas for like a complication that can happen here?
Ulana drops her food.
That's true. You could drop something in your haste, maybe.
I would I'll instead of my food, I'll drop like the little like pipe flute that I have that I was trying to play to get him to. Weird.
Yeah, so you like drop the instrument that you had.
Yeah.
And this is like a nostalgic thing for you, right? So
yep.
Okay. So does Alana notice that she's done this, or does she like drop it and she'll realize later that she?
I think she'll probably notice because she was like trying to play it and like with the gravel flying around.
Got it.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Got it.
Like there's something in my mouth and now there's not.
There's that moment where you're like, get my thing, or I'm gonna be like where he's at. Like it's
right.
It's
the
too
Chasm
much
Fiend is
going
upon
on.
you, so you just have to like leave it. And we see the Chasm Fiend's like big giant crustacean foot just like crash on top of it and break it. Right.
My heart.
I guess I didn't realize that you were actually playing it already as you ran, but okay, that's fun. So you drop it and it breaks. Cool, yeah. So, but you've succeeded, right? We have now 3 successes for this thing. So let's go back around. Ved, are you going to continue just doing the same thing? Are you? Is there another thing you want to try in particular? At this point, maybe we could just have you just see how fast you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, is this crevasse something I need to jump over, or
no? It's like so when I say crevasse, I mean like a narrow chasm that you can squeeze into that the Chasm Fiend can't follow. That's what you guys are headed for right now. So yeah, well, let's just roll an agility test to just see how fast you're going. Right, you're just like running across the field.
Little agility or athletics?
I think agility, just for like pure speed, right?
Okay. And no plot die?
Plot die as well. We'll keep doing plot die for
plot die, straight up. 16 with no complication.
There you go. Yep. So we're at 4 successes. Good job. You're doing a great job, like just like dashing across the field.
He's like
Palador,
looking behind him too, going like,
yeah,
where is everybody? You know, like,
you're right. Yeah, you're like far out ahead somehow.
Like way far.
Yeah, I think the other bridgeman is probably the one next to you, like still running next to you. The kind of slow-witted but like big stocky bridgeman. He got into step. Like I think we even see him like in the spot relative to you that you would be if you were carrying a bridge together, right? He just fell into that exact distance between you.
Nice.
And running past. Yeah. Palinor, what are you doing now? You just keep. Do we just roll for you see how fast you are, or are you doing anything else in particular?
Yeah, he will slow down and sort of usher brightness with all first.
Okay, so yeah, so you're gonna like kind of bring up the rear and make sure that everybody else is like getting ahead. Okay, yeah. Let's have you roll another leadership test, right? You're just like go, right? Like as they rush past you.
Okay. With block die, yeah.
Yeah. So many complications.
Oh, so many. We're so complicated. Complicated.
Yeah. So, let's think about this.
She loses her slipper.
Yeah, that's true. It could be Batal now since you've left her. Yeah, let's say that. Like she's in a hava, right? Like she's in like a Lethe noblewoman dress. Like I think she just falls without your steadying hand. She's trying to go as fast as she can, but she just like trips and tumbles. And yeah, like just like barely catches herself and is like on the ground. So that'll have to be taken care of as well. And then Ulana, what are you doing?
Is that spearman still on the ground?
Yeah, he's dazed. Yep. He'd be the next person you'd find as you like ran up.
Okay, I would just like try to grab him and yank him up to keep going.
Okay, perfect. Let's have you make an athletics test then. So far, none of you have actually gotten a failure on any of these tests, so good job.
Yeah, that's nice.
I stand corrected. There we go. That's our first failure. You did get an opportunity.
Jinx it. You jinxed it.
You did an opportunity though, which gives the suggestion at least it gives here is give the next player's test an advantage, if that makes sense to you. If you're just or if you have another idea.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
just
that makes sense.
Giving the next player advantage, yeah, especially since they're all trying to run and yeah.
Yep. All right, so we got 5 successes and 1 failure. You haven't beaten the skill challenge yet. Right, we're still in the endeavor. We're still in the chase. Ben or Josh, any ideas as to what you would do next? We got Palinor. Like it sounds like Ved is pretty far ahead of everybody, but Palinor could like rush up and try to get Matal.
Yeah, he sees that Rolana is helping. Is it Aaron?
Varda, the spearman. Yeah.
Oh, Varda. So, I mean, they're a bit further behind because she's helping 2 people, and he's not in the position to run back and help. So he's just gonna, like, it's good enough. I think I'm just gonna run ahead and help find this baton.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's have you roll. Yeah, she's not like injured. So you don't need to carry her. Let's just have you make another leadership test, right? You just like get off your, on your feet, brightness, right, and try to get her up. And let's go ahead and just say no plot die this time.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no!
It doesn't even matter. Critical failure and another complication. All right, that was going so well, guys. All right, so we're at 5 successes and 2 failures. Yeah, and I think like this is her like tears, like you hear her muttering to herself, like, I'm going to die out here. I'm going to die out here. I'm going to die out here. So at this point, you're going to have to like carry her bodily if you want her to get going. Ved, are you, you're the person who hasn't gone this exchange. What are you doing?
Yeah. So how close am I to the
Pretty close.
crevasse?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to drop the old man and say, go, like direct him to get through. And if I can, I'm going to run back to get whoever the closest person that's struggling to me is. And I'll just move back to go grab somebody.
Sweet. Yeah, I think it would be Brightness Metal, right? You're the noblewoman is still kind of muttering to herself on the ground. So let's have you make an athletics check. You're just going to like sling her over your shoulder and carry her?
If I can get to her in this turn, I will.
I think you can. Yep.
Okay, so athletics check, normal roll, no plot die.
Yeah, no plot die this time. Yeah.
No plot die, not important, just a 10.
And that's a failure, unfortunately. So.
No.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So we're still at 5 successes and 3 failures. Just for fun.
How does he fail? Like, does he like cheat? Like, I bet he trips. I bet he trips and falls.
Oh,
like,
we did forget
before he even gets to her.
Roll an advantage. Well, I mean, we could do that next time.
That's true. No, let's have you use it now, Ved. I forgot. Like the next player was going to get advantage. So go ahead and roll again, and we can take the higher of whatever these 2 rolls are.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, critical success.
Critical success.
There you go. What? All right. So I was going to say, you needed 6 successes to like beat the skill challenge, and 4 failures would have meant you had failed it. So that was on the knife's edge there. Wow. But this critical success means that like, we see Ved run back, and do you say anything when you grab the brightness? You just like sling her over your shoulder? What do you do?
He says, pardon me, my dear. And he like just picks her up in the same way. Grabs her by whatever hand. He doesn't care. And just starts charging ahead and kind of gives Palinor a look like, what are you doing?
I love it. Yeah, so we see Ved charge along, and I think like this is going to be where Ulana, you're struggling to get Varda up. But I think the success here means that like you are the last 2 to get in there, and you barely make it as the Chasm Fiend crashes into like the narrow bit there and tries to like scrabble after you. It basically ends with like the Chasm Fiend lunges forward, slamming its claws into the stone behind you. At the narrowest point of the chasm, the sheer cliff walls are about 5 feet apart. So the Chasm Fiend pushes its head through the gap, and you guys are like going backwards, trying to get as far away from it as it like squeezes its head in. But withdraws.
Like feels hot, gross breath like on your face, like
exactly.
But
it withdraws a few tense moments later, unable to squeeze through. Right. And as you turn around, you can see that the chasm widens again, like beyond you, and probably go somewhere else you can get away from the Chasm Fiend. So this isn't a dead end or anything, but it does seem like you've escaped the Chasm Fiend for now. So,
dude, I was like, I have this picture up that you shared, and I hadn't scrolled down on it yet, and I scrolled down and I see this dude get just crushed under one of its legs, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's awful. This thing is terrifying. Yeah,
it's definitely supposed to be. So you guys are kind of like just in a chasm now, like away from the Chasm Fiend. I think as we see, like obviously we saw Alana and the Varda like getting in last, but I think we saw as both what is his name, Ved and the Brightness and Palinor were coming in, and then also when Alana and Varda were coming in, 2 different windspren that were kind of like seem to be like tailing you, like as if like riding your wind of your flight, right? And then they kind of zip up into the air and disappear. And you find yourselves in the chasm, safe for now. As everyone kind of just like takes a breather for a second and like settles down. Is anyone doing anything in particular? Selenar is just like, he's like completely ignored the fact that he like ran ahead of everyone and just ignored anyone else's safety. And he's already like, All right, and now we are going to go ahead and which way do we go? Kind of looks around, like kind of lost in the chasms.
Lana's gonna start scraping some of the plant matter off the chasm walls, because who knows? It might go well with the chasm fiend leg.
Right. Scrape some rock butt off, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Doral, I think we see Doral like kind of stumbling over to like clasp your hand and thanks Ved. You're like, Bridge 9, we stick together, we survive. I think
always be together.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We're brothers. You always be together.
Even though you were about to give me to the chasm fiend just 5 seconds ago.
Would you have done any different? And they kind of like laugh. Like,
yeah, exactly. yeah. Yeah.
Ved is going to pull Palinor aside, and he's gonna just put his arm around him and kind of like pull him away from the group for a second, if he'll come with him.
Yeah, Palinor is surprised, but he figures it's good to keep in touch with him now.
And Ved says to Palinor, he says, we need a leader. And you should lead us. I'm not much for leading. I'm more for carrying, helping, defending, but I don't know what to do right now. We all need someone to follow. I think it's time you stepped up. Salinar is... Well, you saw what happened.
Yeah, Palinor is a little stiff because he knows that breaking protocol is bad, but he looks warily, make sure that Salinar is out of the way, and he whispers, yes, keep an eye on Salinar. I can't act outright against him, but if we can make sure he doesn't have an episode again, I'll do my best to nudge him in the right direction.
Well, you may not have to act against him, Palinor. You see, men follow who their leader is. And if Salinar goes for a walk and no one's behind him, he's no leader. And Ved, like, picks up his club and starts walking back to the group.
Yeah. I think after you come back, Ved, I think it's Aaron, the young bridgeman. There's been some time that has passed. You guys are recuperating and recovering and whatnot, right? I think Aaron grabs you and he says, Ved, me and Kesh have been thinking. This might be our chance. We could run. We could escape this. We don't have to be bridgemen anymore. We don't have to be slaves. As soon as we get up to the top of that plateau, we make a break for it. What do you say?
You and Kesh have been thinking. How many times have I tell you that thinking's the last thing you should be doing out here? Kesh ain't had a good idea in how many... I can't even tell you how long. So listen. Now's not our chance. Now's not our time. What, we're going to go where? You don't even know where we are.
Once we find out where we are.
Fall in line. Be what we are. There's nothing wrong with doing what we do. Have some pride in it.
He frowns. He's like, Ved, you've ran the Parshendi lines with all of us. You really want to do that again? You want to die by a Parshendi arrow?
Versus what? Die by what that thing was? Die down here in this crevice?
I'm not saying we make a break for it now. I'm saying once we get up to the top of the plateau, we don't have to go back to the war camp. We can just, I don't know, maybe we can steal a bridge.
Steal a bridge? What are you, nuts?
He just says, okay, fine. It was a stupid idea. I guess we're stuck.
Yeah, it was a stupid idea. I'm glad you said it. And
he shakes his head.
And Ved goes to try to see if Ulana has any food ready.
Yeah, is that what Alana's doing? Is she preparing?
Sure. Can I like try to start a fire down here and
Sure,
cook some food for everyone?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. Who wants to try a chasm fiend limb?
Oh, I'm famished.
Let's have you make either a crafting or survival test to make a fire, Alana.
Crafting is 2, survival is somewhere. I will find it. I'm sorry. There it is.
No,
4.
good.
Got it.
No plot die. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
yep, the fire comes easy. And it is starting to get dark, right? Like it seems like you might have to spend the night out here, and maybe as you're like making the fire brightness, Matal, she's like looking at her map, but like the chasms are pretty high, and she can't really get much light anyway. And she just like rolls it up again, and she says, "I think we're gonna have to spend the night here, at least one night, and then we can make it to the ruins. I know that they should lead up to the top of the plateau anyway, and then I can still do my research. It all works out." Cool. Did you want to make us some food then?
Yes, I am making us food with what I can, the rations and what I can scrape off the plants of the wall, and then the leg that I have.
Yeah, you can make another survival test to like, find some edible plants and kremlings or whatever else you can find down here, right?
Kremlings are disgusting, but I'll cook them for the Alethi. Another survival. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not so good. Yeah, so this is not going to be appetizing to anyone but you, right? Like, it's going to be a chasm fiend leg and not much else.
Goo.
Yep.
It's just goo. It doesn't like solidify when you cooked it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's just full of like weird, gross bug blood, right?
Ved pretends that it's... Yeah, Ved pretends he's like, good job. Like, just eating this, scooping this goo out.
Yeah, and so like I think we can pass by that. You know, you get some food. None of you are really like damaged or have anything wrong right now. You don't have any injuries or anything like that. So don't need to really make any like recovery rolls or anything like that. Josh, you can take your 1 hit point back that you you got from falling in the chasm. But other than that, I think we get like a night's rest, and everybody gets some food. And then in the morning, we can head out to the ruins, right? So
before morning happens, who was the guy that came up to me with that idea of getting away?
Aaron, the bridgeman, the young bridgeman.
So like in the middle of the night, Ved comes over to where Aaron is sleeping, and he like shakes his chest lightly.
It chasm fiend.
He like covers his mouth. He goes, "We'll make a break for it." And he like slinks back to his spot.
Okay. Ved, when you kind of turn back to go to sleep, you do see it seems to be like a weird shimmering of the light near you, kind of like almost around like it kind of goes around the bend. It's like a little spren or something that goes around the bend as you like put your head back down on your bedroll. You just like you blink, you see it, you see this little shimmer of light, and then it goes around the bend of the chasm, and then you blink and it's gone.
And he's been like seeing this more and more lately. It's been like happening. And at first he thought he was going crazy. But now, ever since that started happening, like things have been falling like into place in his life, like almost as a signal of this is what he should do. And in his mind, he's like, it's a sign. It's a sign.
Yeah. Perfect.
I will make a break for it. Goes to sleep.
Yeah, so Alaya kind of gives you guys a better rundown of what the situation is going to be like in the ruins in the morning. She says she opens her map, and once the light is like light enough to see by, it's hand drawn, focuses on the plateaus closest to the expedition's original destination, and she says, "From our current position, the war camps are due west, but we have to assume the chasm fiend is still blocking that path." And then she like indicates at a point on the map. "If we circle to the northeast, we can still reach our dig site. It should be close by, perhaps an hour away. But going there would do more than satisfy my curiosity. The scouts who found the ruins said that they extended into the chasm. So if there's a way in, there might be a way up. And like just kind of looks around like, is everybody on board with this? Like we're still okay?
Of course. What are we waiting here for?
Yeah, Selenar seems like disgruntled about it until she like says like there might be a way up, and he like grunts and he says, as long as we can get out of these storming cursed chasms. And then, yeah, heads off.
What do you think, Palinor?
Palinor tries to... he steps up and gathers the crew. We'll do as Brightness Metal says. If there's time for exploration, we'll see what we can find, but priority is keeping everyone alive. Let's go.
Yeah, Varda kind of slaps a little salute and then looks awkwardly at Selenar. And then just like puts his hand down, like, shouldn't have done that.
That also
like,
salutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, love it. Cool. Yeah. So, you guys head out, and it doesn't take too long before you start approaching the ruins. But before that, you reach a shadowed area of the chasm, where the walls seem to close in. All around, creeping vines reach into the ankle-deep stormwater. Life spren, motes of green light, hover above the plants. But tiny red rot spren also gather here, crawling over 3 bodies lying in the water. They look like little kind of orange, gross little bug things, right? And they're crawling over some bodies here. Now, like, there's a war happening in the Shattered Plains, right? And so a lot of bodies tend to fall in the chasms and then get pushed westward with the high storms. So it's not unlikely to find bodies in the chasms like this. But if you'd like to, scavenge from them or try to find anything of value, you can certainly do so.
I would try to block Elemental from seeing them and help her get around them without, having to deal with the dead bodies.
Sure, yeah. Does anyone else, Ben or Josh, do your characters go try to scavenge from it, or? I think if you guys don't, like Selenar and Varda might try to pick through the bodies, but
I think Palinor sees that the bridgemen are looking at the opportunity. He also knows he don't want to waste too much time. So he says, if you want to loot, just take 2 or 3 bodies. Don't waste too much time. It's better to escape with our lives than with riches.
It does seem like there are only 3 bodies here, so it's not like a giant like massacre site that you have to pick through. So yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
So
1 body each. Don't fight over it.
Ved will say, "Aye, Captain," and he'll go to the nearest body to him.
Sweet, yeah. So I think you
Palinor
find a soldier.
Is a little aghast at the slip of a rank because it's Selenar that's
Right.
Yeah, Ved ain't calling him anymore.
Yeah. We follow Ved first, and Ved walks over to a soldier. You see it in a rotting blue uniform, and a rusted breastplate. His belt pouch contains 20 diamond marks and a sapphire brome worth 100 marks. So that's actually a pretty good haul especially for a bridgeman. And they're all infused with stormlight, it looks like. So the money in this world is like little chips of gemstone in like a kind of a resin type sphere of like maybe glass or something. And as the high storms push through the land, magical little light called stormlight settles into these gemstones. It's always considered more valuable to have an infused sphere and than a done sphere. It can be used for soul casting, which is like a magical thing you can do in this setting to like create food out of nothing, change one substance into another substance. It's one of the main reasons that wars even happen in this setting, because you can like supply your armies with like free food and stuff. The gems are also valuable because they're used in shard plate, magical armor that some warriors have. So yeah, this is definitely a good haul for you, Ved. The corpse's only other intact item is a little carved wooden axe hound. An axe hound is like a little crustacean-like dog-looking thing. So yeah, it's a little like statuette that he had. Maybe he was like carved by his It's like a maybe nostalgic thing that the soldier had on him. But Ved, like as soon as you like pull out this like infused bag of like spheres, Selenar walks over to you and tries to like just snatch them from your hands.
I don't let him.
Okay, yeah. let's make an opposed like athletic thing going on here. See if you can keep your spheres from him. He's just walking up like it gets assumed like this is not belong to a bridgeman, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna do something else to him too if he tries to take it from me.
Sure.
So just normal.
Yeah.
No plot die.
Yeah, no plot die.
No plot die.
Yeah. So you, what does it look like, Ved? You can like grab his arm. You can whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna knock him down. I'm going to do an arm drag takedown. Arm drag, and then you just trip him.
Yeah.
And put him on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, it's not very polite. And he gives it to Alana.
Oh, yeah, to Elia Matal. Yeah, the brightness.
He gives it to her.
Yep, and I think like...
And he goes, I think this suits the lady much more than you.
So, yeah, I guess, did you mean Ulana or the brightness?
Ulana.
Okay.
Ulana.
Sorry, I forgot that the names are similar, yeah.
Yeah, and as a thank you for feeding him earlier. Because in his mind, like, none of this stuff matters to him at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's important to it's not important to him. So even this guy trying to take it from him.
Well, let's have Ved, let's have you make an intimidation test. I think if you had like just handed it to the brightness, he probably wouldn't have a say in it. But he might insist upon like, no, this goes to like the light eyes, so like not to the common folk, unless you can intimidate him enough. So yeah, go for it.
Okay. 5. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a critical fail. Yeah, so he gets back up to his feet with like a grimace, and he says, "That is unacceptable, Bridgeman. I'll have your head for that."
Okay.
He has like
was just
hand on his sword.
passing it along, and I would hand it to Elimatal.
Okay, yeah. Sure. And as soon as you do that, like he grits his teeth because he was like about to like pull out his sword or fight or something. You can see this guy's his whole demeanor is about like, I need to pick a fight with someone for some reason. And but yeah, I think that complication is gonna mean like he like has it out for you, Ved. Like he's gonna find the next opportunity to like get you killed or like do something, right? Like this is not gonna be good.
Noted.
Yep. Palinor, were you looking at one of the other bodies, or were you doing something else?
I think Selenar, did he get up?
Yeah, he got up.
I think Palinor walks up to Selenar. Says, Captain, we'll have hard enough time surviving if we're not without us being at each other's throats. Let's go. Then he sort of gestures to him to give the order.
Like, yeah, lead us. Do you want to make a leadership test of your own to see if you can get him to step up and just be what he's actually supposed to be instead of a bully? At least in this moment. Ooh, that's a 21. Nice job.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he's still kind of stewing slightly, but he looks around and like you can see that like the brightness is like frowning, like kind of almost disgusted at this guy, right? And he sees that and he goes, fine, we don't need to pick through bodies anyway. Let's go. And then he like keeps walking. I think the other bridgemen we're going to pick through the bodies, but I think they're probably still intimidated enough by him that everyone just kind of keeps going at that point. Go. Yeah, so you guys get to the Lost Shrine.
As we walk, can I craft another flute out of the like carapace from the leg that we ate?
You can certainly attempt to do that. That sounds like a hard roll, but yeah, go for it. You can make a crafting test.
That's awesome.
You had a whole like night and morning and stuff, right, to try to do that stuff. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a 21. I think you're just putting the last finishing touches on it, right? Whatever like carving you need to do, you're just like filing out the flute, and it's not nearly as nice as the one you had before, but it's certainly workable.
Okay, thank you.
Sweet. Yeah. So you go around another bend, not far from the decaying bodies, and the chasm opens back up into a wider canyon. The walls don't seem quite so high either. The floor of the canyon is dry with fewer plants, and broken stone litters the ground. The stone was broken recently, and it's not worn smooth like the rest of the chasm. And then as soon as you like lift your eyes a little bit, you see embedded in the canyon wall, once hidden beneath a layer of stone and creme, a forgotten structure is now half revealed. Its lower level begins about 30 feet above the chasm floor, where columns flank an open doorway. Another 20 feet above that is an upper level, but strangely, that portion of the structure appears to be completely on its side. It's as if the building tumbled into the chasm and was frozen in stone. This structure, an ancient shrine, has been hidden for thousands of years. During the cataclysmic event that created the shattered plane, the structure collapsed. Over the millennia, it was sealed by layers of creme. But now, you can get inside. Yeah, let's have everybody make an athletics check to climb up there. Just the three of you, and this won't be like a huge, if you fail, something terrible happens, but just, a little minor thing. So we got 22 from Ved, 21 from Ulana.
Wow.
And 21 from Palanir. Sweet.
Whoa. Nice.
Yep. Y'all do it, no problem. The only thing that would have like meant anything in particular would have been if you had gotten a critical failure or a critical success. There's like an extra thing that might have happened, but we just see you kind of climb up normally without too much difficulty. And the structure is carved in an unfamiliar style, but it is clearly ancient. The columns that once supported the structure are still intact, though they all lean to one side. Ahead, an open doorway leads into darkness. You go into the shrine.
Yeah, Alana rushes in.
Nice, yeah.
Just like full charge.
I think Eleanor approaches Brightness Batal and Brightness, could we have a few spheres from that pouch? It would be good to enter with a light.
Yeah, and Alana, as soon as you get in there, it is pretty dark actually. So then we see Alana going in, and she's like looking around like I can't see anything, and then Palanor comes in with the spheres, right, and suddenly you can see where you are. Yeah, and this initial room that you guys all enter, as we see all of you kind of like make your way in, rubble litters this room. Dust covers every surface. The floor is uneven, listing to one side. The walls are decorated with elegant carvings, and brightly colored cremlings crawl out of the cracks in the walls and then skitter away. The only path out of the room seems to be a stone stairway leading up. Yeah, what do you do?
I start inspecting the walls for any like pictures or anything like that, and maybe trying to snag a few gremlins.
Sure. Do you want to make a lore test for me?
Also, might be checking to see what the walls are made out of.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of stone and things.
Cool. A 9 is enough to recognize that you're in a shrine, certainly, right? Like there's the mosaics are definitely religious in nature, in some capacity, but not much more to be learned with a 9.
Okay.
Yep. The material is just all stone. There's a lot of the stairway itself is like filled with melon-sized domes of some sort of creme-like material. It kind of cluster like rock buds on each of the steps. Like this picture shows that, right? But yeah, the walls themselves pretty much just stone, covered in a layer of dust. Palanor, Ved, what do you guys do?
Palanor steps up. He readies his long spear and holds a sphere up. Single file. We don't know what's ahead. Be on guard.
I think Selenar is like already going up the stairs.
Okay.
Right? Like he's not like listening to you. He's just kind of like walking up. And I think Olana, would you make a survival test for me? Something you might notice. Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Critical
Crushing
success.
Crushing it.
So they're the Kremlings that you see as you because you were probably you said you're gonna grab some. You go to do so, and you kind of squint your eyes and you realize, oh, you've seen these types of Kremlings before. These are like this is a crimson and yellow species that has like a venomous bite. Like they're actually dangerous. Like you should not mess with these Kremlings. And then you look at the stairs and you're like, that's their nests. And then we hear Salinar's just like booted footstep crunch on one of them. And let's go ahead and go into combat, shall we?
Oh my gosh.
All right, so let me
we're gonna let him die, right? Like we're just gonna let him get killed.
Yep.
I think that would solve a lot of our problems right now.
That's one way to do it. Okay, let's have.
Let the thrill take him over and just take care of it.
I assume you guys
just leave. Just leave him here.
You guys were kind of like towards the staircase, but not actually on the staircase yet. Ulana, you were looking at like the wall over here and like the Kremlins probably. And then we have Varda, or not Selinar rather. Oh, let me grab his cure sheet from the other thing. He's on the staircase. And then we got Spearman Varda. And then I think that's the only other combat character. The others are going to like stay out of the way as you guys are dealing with these Kremlings. So Varda was like next to Ved, like getting orders from Palinor, right? We got some swarms of Kremlings that are going to start to come out here. So one swarm is going to come out of the nests up here. Actually, we'll say two swarms are up here, and then we got another swarm down here on the nest. So, who would like to take a fast turn?
I'm actually going to go slow this time.
Sounds good.
And
want to go fast?
Is fast 2 turns or 1 turn?
Fast means you get 2 actions, but you get to go first. Slow means you get 3 actions, but you have to go slow. So it's like either go first or do more things.
And we can switch each round?
Yeah, every round you can choose a different thing, yep.
Okay, I want to go fast this round.
Yeah,
so
Ved will go fast.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so either one of you who wants to go first, what do we see as you snap into action here to fight the Kremlings?
I'm going to move up to this thing and smash it in the face with my club.
Oh yeah. We need to make sure we have the right like stats in there for that.
I made it says improvised spear still, but
I'll go ahead and give you a cudgel, improvised cudgel.
Now if it's a heavy, I would have taken a big piece of
we can say it's a heavy weapon. Yeah.
So it's a +5 with a 1d10 +5 impact damage.
Well, I'll double check what a cudgel, if there's anything like that specifically says. But certainly
it's in my it's in my bio.
Oh, is it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of like something that he gets.
Oh yeah, as like an improvised.
Ved packs a punch.
Nice. Perfect.
Kind of like fruit punch right now.
This would be I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna check something real quick. Ved, you're gonna go over to that then, to the Kremlin there.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And I guess this isn't fragile, or it is fragile because it breaks.
I think it is. I think it is fragile. Improvised weapons are typically fragile. So when you attack with an improvised weapon, the GM can spend a complication to cause the improvised weapon to break following the attack's resolution. Is the way that works.
So I'm rolling here. You put the stats in properly?
Yeah,
because
give me 1 second. I'm just making sure. I'm trying to find a equivalent weapon in here. Where would
So right now it's saying I have a +8, and I think I'm only supposed to have a +5.
Oh, here we go. I find them. I found them. Yeah, maybe be a heavy, probably as a hammer.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, 1d10 impact. Yeah, that's what it is. Perfect. So that should be accurate now. So yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
Okay, so he says.
So you spent an action to move, right, and then you're spending another action to hit him.
Says stop. Hammer time, and he swings his hammer at this thing's head.
See, well, multiple of them. There's a whole swarm of them. Yeah.
Oh, it's a swarm. Oh,
yeah, there's a whole swarm of them. You're just trying to like.
Oh, he's just trying to like
crush them. Yeah.
Terrible. All right, here we go. What's he got?
Nice. Yeah, 18 and 14 damage. That's wild.
14 max, almost max damage on that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you hit. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure you hit. 14. Oh my gosh, you miss.
What?
Yeah, they have 15 physical defense. So, 18. I'm sorry, I was mixing up the damage and the roll. You had an 18, so you did hit. Yeah, of course.
Okay,
that'd be hilarious if they had like ridiculous armor. Yeah.
If 18 didn't hit, I'm running away.
Sorry, you do hit. So you don't kill the swarm, but you're certainly crushing several of them, right? You're like snatching down on their nests, on them. Yeah.
And that's it, right? That's 2 actions because the move up is 1 full action. And
yeah, even though you only moved like the 5 feet, but yeah. All right, cool.
Help me.
And then Palinor, you rush up to help him, or what do you do?
He'll run up the stairs.
I mean, to be fair, Med probably has it under control.
Yeah, and he has long.
Salinor has it under control.
Sweep, like, kind of keep them at bay. So
what action you did?
A strike action.
Okay, I think you have to be closer than that. Well, do you have a long spear?
I have long spear.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay.
You're
just skewering them from a distance. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, let's see.
Sweet.
How would I roll a strike?
So it should be just the weapon on your character sheet.
I just clicked the weapon. I see.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. The bottom left there, I think. Sweet. Yep. 16 hits.
16 hits.
Yeah, you do 9 keen damage to this thing as you're just stabbing them like you're, at some sort of the seafood buffet, like putting them on a skewer one by one.
Shrimp on the barbie, as they say.
Exactly. Sweet. Yep. So Palinor, you're doing that. That's your turn there. I think Selenar, he's been itching for a fight, so he'll go ahead and go fast. We'll have him do. Let's see. Yeah, he's gonna go into a berserker rage. And his next strike targets each character, including allies, within 5 feet of him, and deals an additional 4 damage on a hit. He's going to swing at. This is him. Like, you can tell that he's like out of control, right? And so he swings at this one, but is also going to swing at you. Narratively, this is not him intentionally trying to. It's just him losing control, right?
Oh, we know. Sure.
Yeah. Sure, buddy. Yep.
This guy's
so
been nothing but nice to us.
Make a longsword attack. So this is targeted against both of you. So 18, does that hit you, Palinor?
I believe it would. Yeah, my physical defense is 15 with a deflect of 2.
Very good. For some reason, it's not rolling the damage automatically on this. It should have. 1d8 keen. All right, so you take 6 keen damage as he hits you with his longsword as he swings it in a wide arc in the middle of this hallway.
Wait, would the deflect matter against Keen or?
Oh yeah, sorry, it would be yeah, your deflect would take off that 6 by whatever your deflect is.
Okay.
Yep. Cool, and that's his turn because he did the Berserker Rage. He spent focus to do that and an action and then struck. So that's his fast turn. And then we can do slow PC turn. So Amber, what is Ulana gonna do?
Well, initially I was going to have her make a tagging shot, but I think first I'm just going to call out, watch their juices. They're poisonous. And then I would go in front of, where is Brightness in all of this?
I'm assuming that she's behind all of you guys. They're not going to be in any danger here, I think. Yeah.
Okay, because I would kind of like try to protect her a little bit since
Sure.
It looks like I'm not going to go up the stairs where all of that chaos is happening. And that looks like he's got this. So I'm actually going to make a lore check to see what's the best way to go about this. Lore survival? Like to get
Sure,
through
yeah. Let's have you make a survival test to do like a gain advantage, I think, right? Like if you succeed, you'll get advantage on a test to like do something against them. Go for it. Ooh,
Okay,
that's a failure. You don't know anything more than you've already gotten with your like critical 24. There isn't some special weakness or anything like that. Like you just got to crush them, right?
Okay. Yeah. So that was 1. Then I guess I would take out my bow and start shooting at like some egg sacs or egg buds that don't look like they've hatched yet.
The nests, yeah. Sure, yeah, you can do that. I do think, would you have already, I think we can describe that you probably already had your bow out. Otherwise, you would have had to spend an action to get your bow out. But I think it makes sense that Ulana would have her bow out, just kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, I think Palador also asked everyone to be armed as well. So.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. Can I try to set the arrow on fire?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think so. Let's have you make a survival test or crafting, whatever you would like to do that.
Oh,
Another
my
6.
gosh.
All right, we're great. Yeah, so you can't figure out how to do that, and that's your 2 actions at least. Yeah, you got 1 more.
So then I'll just shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Where did it go?
You tried.
Who
Who you shooting against?
The ones next to Ved.
Wow.
Oh yeah, 15 hits. So you do that 7 damage. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So I don't know how this doesn't make sense narratively why a bow, an arrow would be effective against this, but we can say that you maybe like, hit one of the nests and like close it up so they can't come out or something, right? Like that makes sense to me. Yeah. Sweet. Yep. It's not dead yet, but it's certainly on its last several hundred legs.
This thing's got a lot of HP for a swarm.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then we'll do slow NPC turns. So all the Kremlings are going to do stuff. We'll have this one next to Ved go first. So it is going to screech. It's going to emit an ear-piercing cacophony of screeching and clicking. Each character within 10 feet. Let's see if this is going to be effective. Perfect. Yeah. So Ved, Spearman, Varda, and Ulana. And Palador, actually. Nice.
Palador, oh my gosh.
Each of you must make a DC 14 discipline test or take a 2d4 vital damage and become disoriented until the end of your next turn.
What?
If you can't hear, then you automatically succeed the test, but all of you can hear. So yeah, so go ahead and make a discipline test for me. Okay, yeah, so Alana's fine. Palador's not.
Nope.
And neither is Ved. Okay, so you guys will go ahead and take 5 damage each, 5 vital damage each. And then you're disoriented now, which means double check. Your senses are disrupted, making most tasks difficult. You can't use reactions. Oh yeah, that's a thing that you guys have. Your senses count as obscured at all times, and perception tests and other tests use your senses gain a disadvantage. So basically, you, like if Ulana had failed on this, you wouldn't be able to shoot the far Kremlings because she wouldn't be able to see that far or like pay attention to see that far. But honestly, most of the like we kind of forgot about reactions. But neither of you have those available to you now, for now. Technically, something to keep in mind, you all have a reaction per round, which you can use to aid an ally, do a reactive strike when an enemy leaves the reach of a melee weapon you're wielding, to try to dodge an attack, you can give attack disadvantage, and to avoid a danger, such as a collision or a fall. Those are all things you can do like in reaction to something that's not even on your turn. So, except Ben and Josh can't right now because they're disoriented. We'll go ahead and
I'll start singing with the screeching it's making. I just joined the chorus.
Okay, that's disturbing. So, I'll go and put this little bleeding eye there so you're disoriented. I'll go and roll for Varda as well. Spear infantry, discipline. No plot die. Hey, Varda's fine. Yeah, that makes sense. You're the farthest away from the Kremlin. So, all right, cool. That is that Kremlin's turn. Well, actually, that might just be one. Yeah, he has to spend, I think, 2 focus to do that, but I don't think it's not his whole turn or anything. So, let me go ahead and do a bite attack on Ved.
Awesome.
All right, it got a 13.
That is gonna miss.
What is your physical defense?
15.
Nice. Sweet. I think I will go ahead and have him spend a focus to graze you. So this is an option you can do when you miss an attack. You can spend a focus, which is like your mental reserves, kind of like your health is your like physical reserves, to do the damage anyway, or some amount of the damage. Let me double check what that does here. Double check this. Equal to the total rolled on the damage. Yeah, so no bonuses to this, just the die roll. I see. Okay.
What kind of die are you rolling here?
Oh my. There we go. Okay, so it did 7 damage to you still. Because it basically just pushed past. It got focused. And pushed past your defenses. If you have any deflect, you can minus your deflect off of that. But otherwise, you're taking that damage.
If I have any deflect.
I think you have 1 from like your vest. It is right. Yeah, you have a 1. Yep. So it did 6 damage to you.
Oh my gosh. This is terrible.
All right, cool. And it still has 1 action it can do. I think it's going to take the brace action to like kind of try to defend itself from your incoming attacks. Okay, the other Kremlings. Actually, I'll do Spearman Varda next. We'll have him do a move action, and then get on the other side of this Kremlin. I don't think flanking is a thing in this system actually, but
well, house rule.
Yeah. At the very least, I will have him try to gain advantage, maybe? That'll be funny. Grapple. An action that one action that everyone can do as a 2-action thing at once during a scene. You can try to recover. You can do like a second wind thing to roll a recovery die and gain that much in health back. So that might be something you want to think of doing, Ved.
Can I do that when I'm disoriented?
You can, just not. You have to be on your turn. You'd have to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So Varda is going to go ahead and try to gain advantage before he attacks.
Come on, Varda.
We'll have him do Intimidation. He's going ha ha ha, right? Like at the Kremlings. And yeah, nice. Yeah, that's enough for advantage. So he'll go to roll a short spear attack. With advantage, if I can.
Just got to get over 15, right? 15 or over.
Advantage, no plot die. Hey, critical success from
Whoa.
Varda. All right, so he will go ahead and just use that opportunity to do the like critical damage thing that you can do. Is that you just like, do you just double the dice, Josh? Do you remember? For that, like a critical damage?
You're also on mute.
And he's eating.
Oh, max
He's having a
damage. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's something that lets you do the maximum damage.
Max damage. That's what it is. Okay, so he would do 8 damage then automatically, which is far more than he needed, but he didn't know that. So sweet. Yep. So he just like just starts stabbing all of them, and yeah, they go down. Those Kremlings are dead. And then, but we still got these ones up here. So, and they're taking slow turns, so they will. This one's gonna screech. So this one, Selenar, and I don't. Yeah, I guess you would have to roll this again, Palinor. You might take more damage, right? You're going to still be disoriented no matter what.
Oh
but.
boy!
So I'm gonna make a discipline test there, and I'll make one for him.
Oof. Crucial success.
Where is the modifier? Nope. He does not have this on a character sheet. What is discipline based off of again?
I believe that it was
Willpower.
yeah.
Here we go. Okay, so he's a +3 to this. Yeah, so there you go. Palinor, you're fine. And so is Varda, or Selenar. Well, that was useless for him to do, but we'll have the Kremlings. I'm going to have him roll a D2. I don't really know which one he's going to attack. All right, he's going to attack Palinor. Going to rush down the stairs towards Palinor while his friend over here is going to attack Selenar. All right, Swarm of Kremlings. Bite attack on you, Palinor. 15 hit.
Oh, it's just a hit on him. Oh no!
Is that your physical defense? 15.
Yes, my physical defense is 15.
All right.
Oh no!
You're gonna take 18
Oh,
damage.
Oh no!
Are you down?
I will be down.
All right, sounds good. So when you
can
go,
I use my reaction to help aid?
when an ally has a test, you could assist. Spend one focus to give that ally an
Well,
advantage.
this isn't a test.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
making a test. Yeah, so it doesn't count here, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yep.
Living is kind of a
I
test.
tried.
For people in this world, certainly.
It's kind of a test.
Yeah. Palinor unfortunately can't use a reaction for himself because he's disoriented. But okay, so you go down, which means we'll go ahead and find out that rule.
Yeah, I can on my turn choose to get up or just stay down, and I'll be kind of ignored.
Your movement becomes 0. You fall prone. Yeah, you can choose to regain consciousness at the end of any of your turns. You do have to make an injury roll, though, I believe.
Yeah, and these creatures have like a crazy ability where they can like crawl in your ear. So you don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you
don't
that.
want to.
Go ahead and make roll a d20 for me, Palinor. We'll see whether or not you get a bad injury or not,
Let's see.
or just a flesh wound. Hey, 18's good. Yeah, just a flesh wound, a temporary injury for the remainder of the day. So you do get one, but it won't like take a long time to get rid of it. Go ahead and roll a d8 for me. 7.
Nice.
Okay, so you're surprised, overwhelmed due to the shock of an injury. So when you get back up, that's the thing that you'll have on you is you're kind of like surprised by everything that's happening. So surprised means you don't gain a reaction at the start of combats, and you must take a slow turn and gain 1 fewer action. So you have to take a slow turn no matter what, and you only get 2 actions on that slow turn. So until the day passes, right? Like until you can get this healed. Sweet. Yep. So you took a bunch of bites everywhere, right? This venom is seeping into your bloodstream, and it's not doing a good job for you. So Palinor's down, and the Kremlings will take brace action for their next action. This one is going to go ahead and move, or actually, wait. You can't take a brace because it moved and it did the screech and it attacked. So that's it. This one is going to move. It won't bother with the screech and instead is just going to bite Selenar. A 13, I don't think hits him. Nope. Yep. So it missed. And then it will go ahead and take a brace action for its last action right there. All right, cool. So we are back to the top of the turn order. Who would like to go fast? Palinor can't, but anyone else can.
I'm disoriented. Like, what does that affect with my?
It doesn't affect your turn, your choice of turns here. It just you can't take reactions, and you can't perceive stuff in. Okay. Oh, but I think you might be. I think you go back to being undisoriented, until the end of their. Oh, sorry, the end of their next turn. Okay, so you're still disoriented until the end of this turn. Yeah, so you can't use reactions. Your senses are kind of obscured. So for you, Ved, it should say on your character sheet what your like senses range is. 10 feet. So you can only sense things within 10 feet of you. You could stumble forward, but you can't like attack from a distance or anything like that.
Right. So I think I'm going to take a slow turn on this turn.
Got it. Ulana, do you want to take a fast turn?
Actually, I think so.
Okay. Sweet.
So, I think I have a clear shot above.
Yeah, there's stairs.
He's down.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna aim for the one right above Palinor. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Go
for it.
And what do I go? Short bow. No.
Oh, just barely too. Just barely. Okay, so you can still choose to
I'm gonna spend focus to graze it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because you rolled really well too. You got the max on that. Yeah. So you won't get the +5, but you do get 6 damage on it.
Okay.
Sweet. It's almost dead. You can definitely tell that there's only a couple of them left skittering around. Sweet. Do you have another action you'd like to do?
I will, yeah, probably. I'm gonna just kind of move 1 because I don't want to stay away from Selenar.
Fair enough.
Gonna give him his space there.
The only reason Palinor went down is because his own guy hit him. So
yeah.
All right, cool. Palinor, you are surprised. No matter what, you have to take a slow turn. And then we'll have Selenar go fast. He'll go ahead and he'll do Berserker Rage again this time. Because he's surrounded by actual enemies now. He's not going to attack you though. He's not. That doesn't make any sense. You're kind of like on the ground anyway. So we will go ahead and make a longsword attack, which hits. And
Palinor takes an extra
Sorry.
1d8 damage. Dang.
No, I think like the way that narratively this would make he's swinging not on the ground towards Palinor. Yeah, he's just up the stairs. So this one dies. He manages to finish off that one and then does 8 damage to this one. So he's doing a good job. He has, yeah, that's his 2 actions. So that's it for Selenar. And then, I don't. I think Varda will take a fast turn. He'll go ahead and. What can he do here?
He can move to that square, right? That's
Yeah, I think he can probably move up. On top of this. I don't even think they're like even exist anymore. Basically, right? They're all like a dead pile of corpses. So he'll go ahead and go up here and attack with his short spear. Hey, nice.
Wow.
These guys are doing
This guy's
well.
crushing it. Yeah.
Okay, 5 keen damage. Okay, and then we got slow PCs. So that'll be everyone.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna take my second wind action.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So it's gonna be a 1d8, right?
Yeah, it's whatever your recovery die is. Yeah.
Just 4.
There you go.
Recovers 4, and is that 2 actions? Does that count as?
It is. It counts as 2 actions. Yeah.
Okay.
You can still move or something.
Yeah, he's not going to though. He's gonna stay right there. And yeah, he's just gonna stay there.
There you go. Add your health there.
Okay.
Do you still have an action? Do you want to use it to do anything or?
No, he's just gonna slump his back against the wall. Yeah, he's gonna brace.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's gonna brace.
There's a pillar right here. Yeah, you can just be like, yeah.
He braces against the pillar. He's like really messed up right now.
Yeah. Cool. And then Ulana and or Palinor.
I took fast.
Palinor's down, so he's gonna stay down.
Yeah. You're just gonna stay down. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think by the rules, if I regain consciousness and take damage, I'm going to get another injury. So really no point.
It's probably smart. Selenar probably should be able to take out this guy. Okay, and then we got slow NPCs, which is the Kremlins. We'll go ahead and have them, or did I have them do fast turns?
No.
Yeah, we just went through the faster. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so I will have him screech. This guy hasn't screeched yet. We will have Selenar and Spear Infantry guy roll their discipline. Okay, Spear guy's fine. And so is Selenar. So we'll have Kremlin. Yeah. We'll have the Kremlins attack Spearman Varda. And miss terribly. All right, cool. And then they'll go ahead and brace. I think this guy braced last time, so I would have gotten disadvantage, but I forgot about that, so it's fine. Then we are back at the top of the turn. Got fast PCs. Anyone like to go fast?
Am I no longer
You're no longer disoriented. Yep. Technically neither is Palinor.
Am I able to second wind again?
No, it's a thing you can do once per scene.
Only okay. I'll take a slow turn then.
Ulana?
I think I'm going to take a slow turn as well.
Cool. We'll have Selenar and Varda go then. They might just finish this guy off anyway. We'll see how they go. How they do. We'll have him do a sword attack. Selenar gets a 19 hits. He does 8 keen. Oh, just barely does not take him out. Selenar will go ahead and do Just have him brace. And then Varda is going to attack. Hey!
Whoa.
He had 1 hit point left, so he definitely just kills the dude. Sweet. So Varda and Selenar just stab them to death up there. Sweet. Yeah, so fight's over. Palinor, I assume you come to and like,
yes.
groan awake. Yeah. Brightness Vital runs up to you.
1.
Yep. Brightness Vital runs up to you, Palinor, and says, "Are you all right?" Leans down. Places her safe hand against her breast.
I think I shouldn't have rushed ahead.
Well, you were very brave.
One for the team.
Yeah, Selenar puts his sword back and just like, well, that was easy enough. Like he wipes your blood off of the sword. Just
God, this freaking guy.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ved's like leaned up against the wall and he like slumps down and is just like, I'm gonna need a minute. And by minute, I mean whatever a short rest is in this game system.
Yeah, you can take a short rest if you guys would like.
Yeah, I definitely
hang
need a
out.
short rest. So
it's not a bad idea.
I get to roll a D8, another D8.
Yeah, we can do a recovery die. Yep.
Recovery die time.
If you don't need to recover yourself, you can do like 10 to others or do something else.
Yeah. Can I try?
I really get a 1.
Palinor gets 1 hit point left.
Ilana is trying to help him bandage those stings.
Oh, perfect. You can add your medicine modifier to their recovery die roll. Then is how it works.
Okay.
So what's
For
your
both of
medicine
us?
modifier? Well, Ilana, I think Ilana's helping Palinor.
Yeah, helping him first.
One or
He's a
more.
little bit more
One or more willing allies. So she can give this to both of you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your modifier?
That's 2. That's the
If you don't
number
have
before the skill.
Yeah. Should be. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So everybody can add 2 to the rolls you just made there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Amazing.
All right. Sweet. Yeah. So you guys rest,
Lana,
recover.
thank you. Feeling better. Better already. Yeah, this is
Yes, you have to be
brutal.
careful of this place. Cannot eat these.
She's like, sorry, not for eating.
That did not cross my mind.
Brightness. Can I go with Varda and scout up ahead to see if there's more?
That sounds like a good idea. We want to make sure there's no other threats that we need to face.
Could I use some of those spears? Marks.
Yeah. She give you some.
Palinor old passes. So I think I need this right now.
Yeah. So Ilana and Varda head up to explore the rest of the thing while you guys are resting. Or finishing their rest, right? Yeah. So the other floors, basically, most of them can't really be accessed. It seems like. The higher you move up the stairs, the rubble fills the stairway. After climbing for about 30 feet, the stairs abruptly end, where a landing should lead to the next level. Broken stones cover the floor. They form an uneven ramp to the level above. So you guys kind of like, climb up your way. It doesn't seem like there's anything of importance yet. And basically you make your way up through some rubble and some staircases. All the other levels except for the 5th level of this room, the one that you saw exposed from outside, is inaccessible. But that 5th level, once you get to it, you can actually go into another room. And in the room, you see the upper level of the shrine lays completely on its side. What was once the floor is now the western wall, with a former ceiling to the east. Columns broken from their pedestals have collapsed onto the floor. The room's most striking feature is a statue of a shard bearer. Once it would have stood 15 feet tall, but now it lays against the floor like a fallen warrior. 7 glyphs are carved into the pedestal at its feet. So yeah, that's what you see. There doesn't seem to be any like danger in the room immediately. No Kremlings here. Just like a weird statue, and then some like tunnels that seem to like lead. Went to the wrong thing. Some tunnels that seem to lead to other like outside, maybe up to the plateau. Yeah. Would you like to investigate anything?
Yeah, I'm going to try to put one of the spheres in the notches. Or if I have 7 of them, like try to fill those, see what happens.
Yeah. So as you come close to the statue with your infused spheres, and as you just lean down to look at the glyphs and the statue, stormlight streams from your spheres, causing the glyphs to start glowing. Yeah, so like not all of your, but one of your spheres becomes done. And yeah, there seems to be some sort of thing going on with the glyphs here. You're not sure what's going on there. But you do. Varda's just looking around like, what is this place?
So I would suggest to Varda, why don't we go back and get the brightness, explain to her what's in this room, and that path is probably our best way out.
Yeah. He nods and then goes back down. Do you want to start investigating it yourself while he goes and gets her?
Oh yeah. Just like all over walls, floor, wall.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, his laptop died.
Oh no.
Right now,
Eleanor, what do you want to do? Tell us. Why are you so silent?
Right now, Amber is split between Josh and her places in the overlays. You're just like smack dab in the middle of it, cut in half. Let's go ahead and take a look here. What are you doing specifically? You can try to look at the glyphs. You can inspect some other part of it.
Yes, the glyphs, and then to see if the statue of the shard bearer may have like any remnants of actual shards. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a lore test for me to read the glyphs.
Plot die or no?
Let's say no. Pretty calm situation you're in right now.
I pressed the button. Okay, let me try again.
Yeah, try again, maybe. Nothing. Here, let me try it. I'll try it from your sheet and see if it works.
Okay.
Well, that's a 20.
Hey, now it works so much. Lag.
Well,
sorry, y'all.
No, it's all right. I'm fine with going with the first one that actually showed up, right? So that's a 20.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and that's a success for you. This is another little endeavor here and a little skill challenge. So you got 1 success in figuring out what's going on here. Each glyph seems to represent a single word in an archaic style. The words life, strength, journey, before, death, weakness, and destination seem to be present in the glyphs. What else do you do? I think we see brightness start to make her way. You hear them making their way up the stairs, and probably the rest of you are too, but you can try to investigate further. Ilana? You look at something else?
Yeah, I'd probably I'd investigate the statue more.
Sure.
So not just the glyphs, but like the upper part.
Yep. Go ahead and make a perception test for me. And you can do this with advantage, actually.
Perception. Oh, advantage.
Oh, critical success. Yeah, so you definitely notice that the stone of each glyph is weathered, as if it has been touched many times. The central glyph seems to show more wear than the others. The statue itself doesn't seem super important. You do see on the sides of the pedestal, there are some rectangular patterns that seem to be maybe some kind of sealed compartments. But yeah, the statue itself doesn't seem to have a lot of interest going on. The pedestal is like the main focus of whatever this mystery is, whatever this can do. Because like the glyphs are now glowing, so there's something going on here, right?
Yep.
But yeah, do you want to make a thievery test for me, real quick?
Sure.
Also with
Don't know what I'm
advantage.
stealing, but hey.
Nice. Yeah, so you almost do it by accident. You kind of pop one of the compartments open. And let's see here. You find
more bugs, and they jump out at you.
Yeah, roll a d4 for me. You find an amethyst cut in a strange twisted pattern in that in there. But then you seem to get a handle on the glyphs now too. You're able to determine basically what you need to do is like you either need to speak the proper phrase, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination, or press the glyphs in a certain order, like without the words, to open another thing in the pedestal.
Do I have time before other people arrive?
I think like they're getting into the room about the time you're realizing this. Like you figured out the puzzle and are just staring at it. And Brightness Patal is like, her eyes go wide and she says, "What is it? It's storms." And then she like walks over.
Before she walks, can I slide the amethyst like hiding away, hidden away?
Sure. Yeah. No one notices.
Cool. Brightness, I think if we speak these glyphs, I could do something.
Well, it does seem to be some sort of fabrial device. The glyphs are glowing after all. Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
Lana actually almost sings them out. Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination.
Sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use your little whistle to like get the note first before you.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Ulana, when you do this, the first thing that you feel is like a little, like your pocket with the gem in it, like feels to like, you feel warmth coming from it somehow. And then the golden light of a strange spren, a strange like shimmering spren, that pops out of the statue, out of the pedestal. Suddenly, it just seems to infuse the pedestal. Actually, it was probably in the room somewhere else. You see this like glowing spren, and it like flies into the pedestal, and like glowing light like starts to infuse it. On one side of the pedestal, another compartment, the another one besides the one you had found, slides out of the stone. Inside this drawer is a bracelet and 2 rings linked by metallic chains. Though its gemstones are cracked, the metal is untarnished. This is no mere jewelry. It is a priceless artifact of the Vorin Church, a soul caster capable of transforming any substance to another with a touch. And at that, Brightness Patal, like her eyes go wide, and she says, "This is more than I could have dreamed. A soul caster, an ancient soul caster." Yeah, and you see I think real quick, a couple of where is this? A couple more spren seem to kind of whiz around, zip around the room, maybe like a wind spren or something. but they seem to be reacting to what's happening on the pedestal, right? It's like glowing and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, Brightness Metal is going to take the Soulcaster unless someone else does. But
No, I would try it and put it on. Yeah, I would put it on my regular hand because my scythe hand is covered with a glove.
See, yeah.
So, but it's left-handed. The Soulcaster's left-handed. So.
Oh, darn it! No, yeah. So I mean, there's no gemstones, right? Like, or they've cracked long ago. But it certainly, yeah, it fits, right? It seems like authentic.
It's not too small.
No, I mean it's like an adjustable thing, right? Like it's a ring of it's like things you have to clasp together.
It's not a gauntlet.
It's got Velcro
by chains.
Yeah. And as you look around the room, also, Ulana, you see like mosaics as well that you maybe missed because you're so focused on the statue. You see some bright ones that depict shard bearers and fanciful scenes, a figure in blue surrounded by stylized clouds, another in red wreathed in flames, and everyone is kind of looking at these as we're like getting everybody in the room now. The clearest image depicts a woman in violet shard plate, her hand extended toward a figure with ivory skin and red carapace. Yeah. As you guys enter, does anyone have a good perception? It might just be Ulana, but
mine's okay.
Whoever has the highest perception.
I have a +3.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that, Ved. You might notice something.
I bet I know I'm going to notice too. Oh, nothing.
You don't notice anything. Yeah, you're just looking around like, wow, this is cool.
I'm like cleaning my nails, like just picking them.
Yep. Palinar, what's your reaction to the room as you walk in?
I think he's not feeling really well. He wants to get over with it.
Yep. Yeah. I think you guys noticed at this point a spren, one of the wind spren that was in the room, does seem to kind of linger over in this part. Like there's an exit out this way to the south, and the wind spren seems to be like, wind spren do this sometimes, right? They're kind of tricksy. They like to play tricks on people, or like interact with people in meaningful ways. It's kind of just like spinning around in a circle, like, come this way, right? Like, this is the way out.
That's interesting. I would have thought to see a wind spread in here. It's awfully stale and clammy.
Right. Yeah.
Still.
And Ved, the glyphs on the pedestal suddenly go dim, and then this shimmering light spren thing pops out of it, and this is the thing you've been seeing around you a bunch, Ved, and it kind of shimmers in the air and then kind of like goes into a wall, disappears. But yeah.
That spren, did it look like the one that I had seen earlier? Was it similar?
Exactly. Yep. It's like a shimmer of weird light.
You said it went into the wall?
Yeah, it kind of like disappeared, right? Like spren don't really have physical substances in the same way, so he just kind of like vanishes.
He'll go over to that section of the wall and just start to kind of like run his hands along it. Is there anything interesting, symbols or anything that he can see?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually the probably the part of the wall he went into had a mosaic on it that was like this like woman in shard plate, this like epic looking armor. If you want to make a lore test for me, Ved, there might be something you could pick up here, or religion maybe.
Yeah, like I don't even know where religion is. Does he even have religion?
Maybe that's not a skill.
I don't think it's a skill.
Lore. Yeah, go into lore. Yeah, it might be an expertise. Hey. Yeah, you remember some random thing you learned about the Knights Radiant at one point, right? The Knights Radiant are like this mythical order of magical knights that lived a long time ago. And they were considered lost, like they betrayed mankind and, disappeared forever. But you remember hearing a story about one particular order of the knights called the Will Shapers. Their whole thing was like freedom, breaking people of bonds that were like tying them down and like hurting them. They wanted to make sure that like slaves were freed and people were free to live their own lives and be individuals and stuff. And something about this mosaic just kind of speaks to you in a profound way, and like your soul. I don't know, something about this, like it's like the one piece of information you have about the Knights Radiant, and somehow it's just like resonating with you right now.
Is the mosaic kind of like honoring them or paying them some kind of tribute?
Well, when you look around,
like
the statue itself is the same woman in Shardplate. This is like a shrine to her. You think like maybe like this is like the burial site of a long lost Knight Radiant, right?
I'm going to share this with the group. I'm going to just say like, Knights Radiant, this woman here, she must have been someone very important, very special.
Yeah.
Maybe someone lost to time.
Brightness Metal speaks up and says, yes, it's some sort of shrine. I can't believe we were in such luck. I think she looked at you, Alana, and you have the Soulcaster still, right?
Yeah.
And she says,
yeah.
Alana, may I? Holds out her hand. And you stick some gemstones at it and then turn it to smoke.
For a time, although I think its ownership should be determined later. And I hand it over.
Yeah, she frowns at that. She's like, this thing needs to be studied. It is not a trinket to be used without care. And then she, studies it a little bit and tucks it away for now.
Belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
I think it could be studied close to our sacred oceans.
She frowns. She says, we will speak of this later.
Alana is trying to sketch out some of the mosaic drawings and the statue.
Yeah.
With just charcoal and.
Yeah, and I think you're doing that, and it's about this time that Selenar's like, all right, I think we've done everything we can do here. Let's go ahead and leave. I need to get out of this creme-infested place. I need some good wine and some good company back in the war camps. No offense to you all, but...
yes, you could not possibly offend us any more than you have already. He turns to Palinor and he says, Palinor, what say you? Are we done here?
Yes. Let's go.
Selenar frowns like he's not in charge. What are you talking about? Yeah, okay. So I think Selenar
start packing up.
Selenar starts walking to this exit. There's like another tunnel that leads to the north here. He starts walking that way. But as a reminder, there's a wind sprint over here kind of beckoning you forward. So,
yeah. Ved's going to go have a peek.
Down the way the wind...
To the
way the wind sprint is poking.
Of the map, yes.
Perfect, yeah. If you go down that way, it leads through a narrow rubble-choked tunnel, and it seems to terminate in a sunny ledge. Like you get around a corner, you can see it. Like there's like a sunny ledge, and you're thinking, okay, it might climb. You could probably climb up to the plateau from there. It doesn't seem like an impossible idea, but you'd have to go further to find out more.
Go further.
Sweet, yeah. Selenar seems to be going the other way. So does anyone stop him, or do you just like leave him?
Palinor goes after him. Captain, so I believe the others think that the there's this wind spread, and if the
And you're going to follow a wind spread, Palinor. Give me a break.
The plateaus have wind, and this must be the right way.
Do you want to make a persuasion test for me?
Yes.
Hmm, 12. I don't think that beats his like cognitive defense or whatever it is. So I don't think it works. Yeah. He shakes his head and he says, I'm going this way. You guys can go wherever you want. You die in the chasms for all I care. And Varda kind of trails after him.
I try to grab Varda's arm and I kind of just shake my head.
Yeah, Olana, you can make a persuasion test on Varda. Just let Saladar just go alone.
Yeah, pretty much. Persuasion. No, that's perception. Persuasion. Oh goodness, this won't work well, but you know what? We'll try.
Oof. Yeah. Varda shakes his head. He's like, I'm sorry. He's my superior officer. I need to obey orders. And then he walks after him. Do the rest of you go south?
Fools.
Yeah, one of the 10 fools. Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
And Salinar calls back and he says, and you're the worst of them, Palinor. And, he says, I may be one of the 10 fools, but you're the 10th. And then, yeah, they walk on. Do you guys go south then, despite where they're going?
I asked Brightness which direction she believes she should go.
She looks at Palinor.
It looks like I'm leading now. So, yes, as much as I hate to abandon the rest of them, I believe this is the right way to go.
Yeah, she nods. It's like, well, I'll follow you then.
And let their record state that they walked of their own free will.
Yeah. So you guys go south, right? And you get to that like sunny ledge and you start to climb up the plateau. There is a way to like climb up from here. But before you get all the way up, you hear the sounds of you hear a shout in broken Alethi. The accent is strange. You're not sure how to place it. Someone shouts, a feminine voice shouts, stop! Give up anything you have taken! And you guys, you're still climbing up, but you're not sure. This doesn't seem to be a person talking to you, right? Because they couldn't see you. Like you look around, there's no one here. They must be on top of the plateau. And when you get up there, right before you get up, who's the first person to climb up the lip? Is it Palinor or Ved?
Yeah. I think Ved would actually be ahead.
Yeah, Ved, you crawl up, and this is what you see. Let me see here. Oh, I need to copy these again. Copies. I don't actually need to copy them proper. Let's do this. Place you guys where you need to go. So Palinor, you're down here. One is down here too. Drag you this. So on the top of the plateau,
That's no rescue party.
Yeah, you see Parshendi. These are the like carapace armored warriors that you are at war with currently. You've run bridges towards like arrow archer lines of these guys before. They're terrible and horrible, very dangerous. Known to kill humans on sight. And Varda and the spearmen have crawled up this way. This is where the north exit led them. And some of these guys with big armor literally are just like grabbing them and like killing them right now. As you get up there, you're crawling up there, and you heard just like a shout from Salinar, and he like rushed forward to just like attack these guys, and the warform Parshendi just like go over there and just cut them down. Right, they just die. They just get cut down by these warform guys, and we see this woman who you think is the one who had shouted just shake her head like sadly, like this didn't have to be this way. The rest of you climb up. They haven't seen you yet, but like the three of you have climbed up onto the plateau. I assume you want to like keep Lalaya and the bridgeman like down there for now because they don't want to be in danger.
Honestly, like I don't even think I would have let them come up. I would have told them to like stop.
Yeah.
And I would have seen that. I would have gone right back down. And we're gonna get out of there. Like,
yeah, so the only exit that you see is down back into the chasms, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe you say that, and like Alaya's like, no, we can't. Your soldiers, can't you face them? She looks at Palinor. She's like, you're a soldier, can't you face them?
We're outnumbered. If you don't understand tactics, we're outnumbered. So we're in no position. They have the high ground, and as you know, that always is superior.
Don't try.
We're not in a position to fight. That's right. He may not be a soldier, but he knows enough about war. The best we can do is negotiate. I don't know about
they haven't even noticed us. We don't need to make ourselves known. We just need to sneak back down, head out the way we came before they find us. But we need to move
die
now.
In the chasms.
We'll find another way through. It's better than dying here.
She looks at you, Palinor, like, come on, you're a hero.
The chasm fiend? You can negotiate with the Parshendi, perhaps, but surely not a chasm fiend.
So what do you say? What do you want us to do?
I say we'll split the party up. Some of us go, and we won't let them know that there are more survivors down there. If we die, then the Almighty be with you, but make a run for it. We'll go down fighting, but I'd rather not.
Eleanor, I like this plan. You go first. And Ved slinks back down. And
he looks at the group. I won't force you to come with me, but if anyone is willing, I will appreciate the help.
Help what? You're going to get killed. There's nothing you can do by yourself. What? Surrender? Do you see what they just did to them?
Well, didn't it sound like Palinor was going to try to negotiate with them?
Yeah.
Right, like Palinor was going to go up by himself and then be like, anyone wants to come with me, that's fine. But then the rest of you, like, go back down, and if something happens, then make a run for it. But if it works, then we can get away, right?
Lana, talk some sense into him.
I'll go with you, Palinor.
Oh my God.
Brightness, you should stay down here.
Alaya nods. She seems very convinced that Palinor can do anything, right? She's like, yeah, he's the man. And honestly, I think we see like Palinor, unless Ved, you will like actually like physically stop Palinor.
No, I won't.
Yeah. Are you planning on staying with the Brightness then for now?
No, I'm not.
You go up too?
I have to now.
Yeah.
Because our leader chose this.
Yeah. Yeah. So
make a good soldier, Vet.
There you go. Yeah. I would like to say that we see the three of you like climb up, right? And then they're like, it wasn't even that like the Warform were being like super, the Parshendi were being super like aggressive themselves. It was that Salinar immediately attacked them and they were like defending themselves. And Salinar was just being too crazy and maybe even hit Varda. And then they both just go down like really quickly, right? But I think we see as they're like rifling through the bodies and like the Parshendi are like, it seems like they're looking for something on their bodies, like, and maybe the woman says like, do they have it? Do they have it on them? And actually, she probably says it's Parshendi. Never mind. So she says something in Parshendi that you don't understand.
I believe Palinor can actually understand.
Do you have listener as a expertise, a cultural expertise?
Thanks. It says so on the PDF. Expertise.
Oh yeah, I guess it's just not listed here. But yeah, if it's listed on the PDF, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I can't find it here for some reason.
Yeah. So you hear it. You hear those words in Parshendi, right? But I think we get a shot of Palinor, Ulana, and Ved all like coming up off out of the chasm, and we see behind Palinor is the wind spren, and behind Ved is the light spren that have been following them. And like they're framed in such a way that it looks like they're like backing you up, right? These little spren are like, yeah, get them, right? But I don't think you guys notice them necessarily immediately.
And we both get double our hit points. Sweet. Temporary HP. Love it. Plus 20. Awesome.
Ulana might suggest for us to temporarily wait behind this rock and let me start playing a peaceful song. These are listeners, right? Songs matter.
Mm-hmm.
The rhythms, yes. And no ambush would begin with a harmless song. That would be tactically crazy.
Wait, what song are you going to play?
Do you know the rhythms?
I don't know their rhythms, but I know Horneater rhythms.
Yes.
You gotta feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time. And he says, "Cool runnings," and he just like charges. What song are you gonna play?
Just like a Horneater song.
Yeah.
Horneater too.
Like a lullaby almost, like a peaceful one.
Yeah, peaceful one.
That won't be creepy at all.
Shallan's lullaby.
Yeah.
Terrified.
I start playing that as the others exit, like enter, like to the view.
Yeah. Let's have you make an agility test. I think that's the closest to like your agileness with your fingers doing the flouting, right?
Yes.
See how it goes. Yeah, 12's fine, right? You don't need to be perfect at it to be passable enough. Yeah. So the listeners all like their heads spin to see this, and we see Palinor like step out, right? And the soft music is playing behind him, and you guys are like, we're friends. Yeah, and the woman shouts to you. It looks like there are a couple of Parshendi they have like lithe forms, and then there's two in the back over here that are like a little bit bulkier, have their like carapace armor and stuff. But this woman who has like a lithe form steps forward, and she says, You come from the shrine, do you not?
Yes. We come in peace. I apologize for the captain's rash actions, but he had left the group. He was no longer with us.
Yes, well, his rash actions led to a swift end. Will you do likewise?
Would a rash group come and playing music unarmed? He raises his hands. This is not a trick. We were attacked by a chasm fiend, and we merely wish to get back to the war camps alive.
We're merely a traveling band of musicians.
Shut up, Ved. Yeah, she says, very well, leave anything you found in the shrine, and you may leave in peace. You see Elia's head poke up, like shakes her head. Ow, ow. And then goes back down.
Yes, I will put this club back. And this club that I found, this valuable club.
Are you making it like a deception test? Okay.
What do you know of this shrine? We just got here.
Yeah, she says, we are here to reclaim something that belongs to the singers. To the listeners, yeah.
you may be mistaken. The artwork it clearly depicts the long lost knight's radiant. You are free to go loot the place or study it, but I don't think you have any claim to what is inside.
So you have found something, and you are unwilling to give it.
There are orbs. Ulana, tell them about the orbs, the glowing with the stormlight.
The spheres that everyone has. Yeah, that's true. You could just say, if we found money in there.
Does Ulana give them the amethyst?
Oh. That's true. None of you even know that.
I don't think anyone knows.
Does Ulana go, hey, I took this. Here, have it back.
Not yet. She's still calculating, watching, observing, see what'll happen. Listening to the conversation between Palinor and this woman.
Yeah. One in the nimble form, I think, comes up to the woman and whispers something to her. You hear it very briefly, Palinor. It's kind of, you only hear part of what this person says, but it sounds like a strange rhythm coming from her. And it's not. It's you. I think you've stopped the music at this point because you said something, right? But so it's not that, right? Like it didn't seem like it's that.
But I can't understand what she said, right?
No, you didn't understand it, but yeah, Palinor did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appease to the codes of war. On the plains, when we contest the great shells, it is a matter of armies fighting on behalf of their leaders. But we have honor. We are men of honor, and we respect the rules of contest. Those who reach the great shells first may get their gem hearts, and I beseech you, we have arrived here first, and this is no different. We do not want to die, nor wish to kill you.
Go ahead and make a persuasion test. See how it goes. Let's raise the stakes on this. Do plot die. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, I think she seems really disappointed, and she just says, I'm sorry, but war demands... but similar to how when armies meet to harvest a great shell, two bands of soldiers have met here to claim what is in those ruins. And she turns to her war form. You can tell she's about to give the signal. You can try one more desperate thing, but she doesn't seem convinced by normal persuasion. You could try to intimidate her or to lie to her or something, but
what is worth more, a chicken in your hand or two chickens out in the field? We have but been here for half an hour. You can lay claim to this shrine for the rest of it. We will not contest you.
yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Ulana would step up next to Palinor and pull the amethyst out of her pocket and hold it out.
Yeah.
I ask one request, though.
Yeah.
Let me study it with you.
Yeah. When you pull it out, a bunch of the nimble form the singers here start whispering, gem heart, gem heart, gem heart. And Ulana, you didn't notice it before, but as you pulled it out, you seem to see it's almost like there's something inside the amethyst, wriggling around, you think?
Potentially a spren?
Yeah, it's not stormlight. It's like a spren.
Throw it off the cliff.
Well, that's not quite what I'm...
Throw it that way and we run the other way.
Go get it! And then just run in the opposite direction.
I whisper the words to it again. Life before death, strength before weakness, and journey before destination to the little spren inside. Like holding it up close.
Yeah.
And then I lick it to see what it tastes like.
I'd like to think it's like very tense moment, right? Like you say the words, everything, the music is really dramatic, and then the music cuts out, and you very slowly lean down and
like, don't do it, don't you do it.
and I think the Parsheni are very confused, and they just like frown, and then the woman says, "I am sorry, but we do not study anything with humans. You will hand over the gem heart, or you will die. Those are your only two options."
Humans? You take me as simply an Alethi? Come, we have a common ancestor.
She frowns. "I doubt this very much."
According to our traditions, it is true. Where do you think this comes from, holding up the red hair?
No, wait, that's sarcasm, never mind.
Yeah. She just shakes her head and she says, "This is foolishness. I will not be party to this any longer. You will hand us what you have taken, or you will face the power of the listeners." So yeah, like part of it is like the route of persuasion has like closed to you guys. You either have to like intimidate. Your three options here are like, or four. You could fight. You could give up your stuff for real. You could lie, maybe give up part of the stuff, or pretend that you didn't actually find anything else of value. Or you could just intimidate them and be like, "It's not worth it. We're stronger than you. We would beat you."
Well, they don't know that we have anything else, so I will say that this is all we found. And then I would whisper to the spren, "Be free," and then try to like break the gem heart on the ground, just like throw it down as hard as I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Get them mad.
Can Ved smash it with his club? Like if she throws it down, can he just like boom hit it open?
I think like her throwing it is probably enough to just smash it already, right? Like the gemstone seems fragile enough that she like breaks it. Out comes like a weird red glowing red-black spren. And suddenly all of the listeners are like, their eyes go wide and they start whispering, "Old gods, old gods." And I think someone can make a intimidation check. Actually, let's have you, Alana. Let's have you make an intimidation check. You didn't know that's what the spren was inside here, but like something about this has spooked them. Ooh, 13 is not very good. Let me check her like defense here.
Maybe a 14.
It is 15.
Oof.
Yeah. So they're spooked for. Yeah.
Should I have rolled the plot die too or no?
Oh, probably. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a d6 for us. Oh, nice. Hey, but that means you succeed because you got a +2.
That's crazy.
But with a complication. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you succeed. Yeah, I think like the complication here is that
it possesses her.
Yeah, I mean I don't think it has the power to possess
her. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm just making up things.
No, I know. Yeah, I definitely think like we before we saw like Ved and Palinor, they have these like spren behind them. As soon as this red spren pops up, those spren like disappear. They like shoot off somewhere else and are terrified of what's happening here. And I think the red spren chases after them. Like it chases after them, and this only lasts for a moment, right? And the Parsheni woman just like shakes her head and says, "That is enough. Take what they have by force." And your only option at this point, I think, is to make a deception test, like to finally make it clear to them, like that was all we had. Sorry.
Yep.
Does someone want to say like the last thing that would like clinch that deception?
I don't know.
Does anyone have a good
Lana,
deception?
why did you throw the only thing we had to give them?
There we go.
Yeah.
It was alive inside. I couldn't believe it got trapped. They need our help. Gunanaki.
Yeah, it's true. They do worship the spearman.
Shouldn't they go chase after it in the direction that it went?
I kind of like went over the plateaus and stuff, so like for now they're not gonna bother with it. It seemed like that red spread like scared them, like they wouldn't want to chase after it. But yeah, go ahead and Palinor, go ahead and roll a deception there. I think you can take advantage. Like Ilana has set this up for you. And plot die.
Oh, okay. Let's roll that.
You're good.
Let's take this roll. Okay.
Nice. Another complication. Love it. Yeah, you certainly succeed. I'm trying to think of what like another complication would be here. Whoop. Just suddenly exited Roll20. The Soulcaster was the only other thing you guys got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could pass off the other gemstones as found.
Yeah.
But that's in hiding currently.
Yeah, I don't have any particular ideas for a complication right now, so I think we'll just leave it alone. And you know, we're starting to run out of time here too. So I think we get them like being kind of disgusted, right? And like the Parsheni woman just like shakes her head and she just says, You have made a mistake here today. She's looking at you, Ilana, when she says this. She says, there will be consequences. And then she gestures to her Parshendi and they just go and jump across the chasm to the other plateau.
Whoa.
It's like they just bound away.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and like
I'm relieved.
Alaya like pokes her head up. He's like, are they gone?
For now, we should get going though. They might come back.
Does anyone have something we can signal across the plateaus to ask for help?
It does seem like there is on the far side of this plateau, there's a bridge, a permanent bridge. The way that this was set out, you could have gone just through permanent bridges if you had like gone a really long way around. But Sadius's work camp would have been way more direct to just take a bridge crew across the plateaus. So that's what you did. But now that you're here, you can just cross that bridge and then like keep going towards the work camps. Yeah, so I think you're good there. Alaya Matal, it continues to stay very close to you, Palinor. She seems very impressed that you guys all managed to like scare them off or whatever, right? But Ulana, you swear that you like are starting to hear a weird new rhythm, like a song in the back of your mind that is like spooking you. You're not sure what to do with it.
I like scoop up the pieces of the amethyst, the gem heart that I broke, and collect those. Just, you know, whisper like "thank you" to it, and put it in my pocket.
Sure.
Gives it one last taste for good measure.
Just eats the whole thing and just crunches the
It's
shard.
It's sugar glass.
Yeah, sugar glass. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, and like, you know, it doesn't take that long to get back to the war camps, right? You might have to camp once out on the plateaus, but you will eventually get back. But then there comes the matter of obviously, if you have any other last things you want to say or do here, the thing I'm wondering about particularly is whether or not Ved tries to make a break for it with the other bridgeman, like he had said. And if so, when, right? Because as soon as you get back to the war camps, you're back to being property, right?
Yeah. So do we have a night in between, or is it just
you do? Yep, you have one night between. Yep.
So I think as night comes, he has this moment where he like the other guys are like, all right, it's time to go. It's time to go. And he says, and he like looks at him and he gets up like to get ready to go. But then he looks back at the group, and does he see that like spirit thing, the light thing that he's been seeing?
No, you don't. Yeah, it's like gone for now for some, and there's like weird emptiness that you feel. This is probably at night, right? Like everybody else is asleep, and like the bridgeman have woken you up to like try to disappear in the night. But yeah, the sprint is not there; it's gone.
And he goes, "You go, you go." And he sits back down, like at his spot, and he lays back, and he just looks up at the stars, and he closes his eyes.
Yeah, the other bridgemen like look at each other like, what? Like they whisper to each other like, what? No, he needs to come with. And then finally Doral says, "We're Bridge 9. We survive. We gotta go." And then they head off into the night. And yeah, you guys wake up in the morning and they're gone. Brightness Metal asks about it. She's like, where did they? Oh, they couldn't have gone back into the chasms, did they?
I don't think so. I don't think you'll be seeing them again, though.
Well, they can't make it far. There are scouts. I don't understand.
Palador steps up and says, Selenor and the bridgemen died bravely fighting the listeners. We had a skirmish and we protected the Soulcaster rather than gave it up. Do you understand?
Yeah, make a persuasion test. Yeah.
I love it. That's so good.
That is good. Let's do a plot die on this. That's a rough.
Yeah, but it's without complication. So like to me, it's like they know he's lying, but they also understand.
It's not deception. Like this was Palinor making like trying to convince her because she knows the truth. Like this isn't be a lie to her. This is her like not wanting to go along with it. So but like she does really look up. You know what? I think you should have had advantage on that. You're Palinor. She's obviously kind of trash you. Go ahead and roll it again.
Come on, Palinor, get this.
But if you fail here, then no hope.
Whoa! Yes. Wow!
Yeah, so the plot die wouldn't have rolled again, but you did get a 20. So,
right,
because you have to choose advantage for one of those things, not both. Yeah, but yeah, 21 is good. I think this makes more sense, right? Like I think she would listen to you, and that's why I gave you advantage. So yeah, she nods slowly and she says, "I understand. They were brave, weren't they?
Perhaps we could use some of the found gemstones to compensate Lord Sidious for his loss."
I'm sure he would appreciate that. She laughs softly to herself. Well, I suppose we get what we want then. She pats the satchel with the Soulcaster in it. She says, she looks at you, Alana, and she says, "You have a scholarly mind?"
I do.
Yeah, it's kind of a question. Yeah. She says, "I cannot promise you the Soulcaster. If we are being secretive about this, well, it's one thing for a Voran woman to have it in her possession. It's quite another for an Unkalaki to take it off to her land. I cannot give it to you, but I can offer you a chance to study it alongside me."
I will gladly take that.
I've never taken a ward before.
I've never been a ward before.
It'll be a interesting new experience for both of us then.
That it will. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think you guys make it back to the war camps pretty safe and sound. Yeah.
HP and focus are reset because we all slept.
Yeah, everything's reset. That'll all be back to normal. There won't be another fight, but and I think we go to epilogue here, right? Like I think you guys get back to the war camps. You tell Sadius that right, that they believe the story. You give him the spheres, right? It's a pittance, but he's like, oh, whatever, right? Like this was your Stormfool Crusade, Brightness Metal, right? Whatever. And I think you both find yourselves Ved and Palinor. Like Ulana goes off to like study the Soulcaster with the brightness. But I think Palinor and Ved, where would you guys be that next evening, like at the war camps? Like Ved, you would be going back to being a bridgeman unless someone steps in and does something here. Do you just go back to that life willingly? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that he doesn't really have a choice. And he knows though, like what he did and like how he helped was not beneath his station in life. And so he starts like working on like construction of another bridge to get ready to go back out. And so
I
you
think
just see him
would approach Ved.
Okay. Yeah.
Looks like Bridge 9 is no more. You had a chance to go with them, but you did not.
No, I didn't.
You'd make a good soldier. While I believe Sidious will clearly not retire Bridge 9, there'll be an entirely new crew. But if I'm sure there are others that could be persuaded to buy out your debt, and you could be instated as a soldier under my command, since Captain Selenar is no longer with us. I believe there are promotions in order. Not too presumptuous. But
I think Brightness Patal is definitely going to get you that promotion, right? Yeah.
But Ved like looks at Palinor and is kind of like, he's touched, like someone wants to do something nice for him and he's honored, but at the same time, he was a soldier at one time. And
that got turned into a bridgeman.
He turns to Palinor and he says, I'm sorry, Palinor, my debt's one that no one can pay. And he just starts like hammering like these nails in to these planks of wood and just starts like boom, boom, boom.
All right.
And he just like
that.
Like lets Palinor like go off. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll still put in a good word for you, and you'll have first pick in replacing your bridge crew. You're the leader now.
And he kind of winces at that, like you're the leader now. And he's like, boom, boom, boom. And he goes, you could do me one thing.
Yes. What is that?
Tell me, where are we? And so we fade out.
Yeah, so I have a couple of little epilogue things that I want to get to here. I think we see Palinor like walk away, right, and he's gonna put in a good word and try to get, he's getting that promotion and stuff. And you go back to like your tent, Palinor, and this would maybe be where your squad would be, or your barracks or whatever it is, right? But like they're all dead now because they were all with you on the plateau run, right? So you're like alone in the barracks, and then a windspren kind of zips in the door of the barrack, the open door of the barrack, and it is like it's like a young woman. It looks like, and she kind of zips up to you, and sometimes windspren take humanoid forms and say a few words or whatever, but this windspren seems way too cognizant. And it the woman zips in front of you, a little blue translucent spren, and then puts her hands on her hips, and she says, You're growing far too attached to that brightness metal. You should pay more attention to me.
I must be losing my mind. I clearly am asleep.
I know she's pretty, but I mean, come on. I'm a manifestation of a sliver of God.
The Almighty? This is heresy.
Yeah, she says, being a heretic has never bothered me before. Hey, listen, you and I have a lot of things to do, okay? I think you're on a good path ahead of you here, but we got to get some things straightened out here. There will be no romantic relationships with bright ladies. You understand me?
I'm sorry. A light eyes like her and a dark eyed captain like me? No way.
Good. That's what I like to hear. All right. So, Palinor, let's talk about the words. And then we kind of like fade away from that scene. And then the last thing we get is, I think we get a shot of Ved. And Ved, you've just finished building the bridge. And this is not usually a thing that bridgemen themselves do. There's like carpenters who are doing this, but I like the idea that you're like this weird, unique bridgeman who like goes over to where the carpenters are working and just started working with them one day and have just never stopped, right? You just like always go back and like help them build the bridge.
He wants to make sure it gets done right. So it's like, it's one of those things where like he doesn't trust these guys because too many of them have failed him too many times. So yeah.
And I'd like to think that there's a chasm nearby the war camp called the Honor Chasm, which is a place where people commit suicide, right? They like if they can't make it as a bridgeman, they jump into the chasm and kill themselves, right? I'd like to think that you walk up there not because you're depressed or whatever, but you're just like contemplative about like your lot in life. You're like, man, I got to go do this again, right? Like you're just kind of standing there looking out over the shattered plains, and that's when the sun is setting, it's getting a little bit darker, and you look up at the stars again, right? Like you did last night. And one of the stars starts moving, right? And then this shimmering ball of light descends from the heavens and kind of comes to stand to like shimmer before you. And it says to you, Ved, why are you still here?
What do you mean, here?
You had a chance for freedom. Why didn't you take it?
Because I am free. I choose this. I'm needed here.
Yeah, this friend says, my name is Tone. I remember that now.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. We're becoming something. The way you freed those bridgemen. I used to know a woman, great woman, who would do whatever she could to make sure that people could live their own lives. She freed slaves. She gave people everything they needed to make their own choices. You remind me of her. Ved, you freed those bridgemen. And now I'm here to make sure that you can get free yourself. Together, we can do something good for these bridgemen, I think. I can give you the power to do that.
Why me?
Because you are like her. You care about the choices that others make. And, well, you make your own choices as well. I may not always understand the choices you make, but I can respect that you make them with determination. And that is something that I think will serve us well. We can be something that has not been in 1,000 years or more.
Show me.
You have to say the words, Ved.
What words?
And suddenly, as if like you always knew them, you know the words are life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination.
Yeah, and they just kind of pour out of his mouth, like, of course, it's that.
Yeah, and I think you had maybe like one sphere left over from like maybe I like to think that like we flash back and we see you palm one sphere from that bag that you got from the soldier, and there's like the one that you managed to swipe from Selenar, and you hold it in your fist, and then you breathe in, and the light streams into you, and we see you glow with power. And then we cut to the end of the episode right there.
Whoa, that's amazing.
There you go.
Wow.
That's our session of Cosmere role-playing game.
Wow, that was awesome, guys.
Yeah, that was fun. That's super fun.
What a world.
Yeah. And for Ben, you just became a will shaper. Right, like that Order of Knights Radiant that is about breaking bonds and making sure people are free. Palinor became a windrunner. Because one of the things that this one shot does is it gives me a couple of spren that are hanging around you guys, and as you are protective or help people be free, I just marked this time in my head, but last time I did it like physically, like every person who did something towards those two directives, like in the spren, or being more and more attracted to one of you. And I figured that by the end, Palinor had attracted the wind spren, the honor spren, the windrunner spren, and Ved had attracted the will shaper spren. Right, because Ved had the whole thing with the bridgemen, helping them be free, and obviously Palinor was like the moment where Palinor stepped up there and risked himself to like bargain with the Parshendi. That's where I was like, yeah, you're windrunner now, yoo-hoo. So
yeah, that was crazy. So
there you go. That's our session. Fun.
Thanks for running the session.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It was really fun playing with you guys.
For someone who did not know anything about Stormlight, you did a fantastic job, Ben. That was really fun.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing feedback about, like, there's a mix of, obviously, a lot of Cosmere fans playing this, but enough of them who are just hopping on board and trying it out. And hearing that most of them also had good experiences, it really made me hopeful.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. A lot of new people enjoying the world through this, so. Well, there you go. I think that's our session. Thanks for going a little bit later. But yeah, I won't keep you anymore. This has been Gamebound, playing some Cosmere role-playing game. We are out. Thanks for playing, guys. And I'll end the stream here.
Bridge 9.
Yeah.